This is the URT. You are the URT. Welcome to the URT. Can you hear me? Big up Jamie Wayne. Smash the like, people. Smash the like on your way in and on your way out. Big up to the people. I hope we're well. I hope we're sending love, people. Wherever you are in the world, we're sending love. Wherever you are in the world. Big up to everybody and everything and everybody. Big up to people, man. Can you hear me loud and clear? Please let me know if you can hear. We're doing a Bournemouth preview. Bournemouth are a team, another team in the Premier League that can do the double over us. Yeah, it's one of those people. It's one of those. Big up the Bombay. Here he comes. Here he comes. Big up Bombay. Can you hear me?
Easy, brother. How are you? Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, man, we're good. Just doing a bit of the introduction to the show. Just saying that we're doing a Bournemouth preview. We're going to be looking at Amorim'S presser. We're going to be also looking at all of the latest transfer news for Manchester United. A lot of it is hollow baloney because I don't believe any of it till I see players holding up the shirt.
Me too.
I don't buy into that. But we'll cover the news. We'll report the news. What's been
why not? Let's have some fun.
And then we asked a big question to end the show with. Can we afford to let go of the last 5 games in the Premier League? Whatever happens with the Europa League, can we afford to? Because if we lose those 5 games starting tomorrow, it will be, if I'm not mistaken, it'll be 20 games lost this season. How can we do it? That's the big question. But big up to everybody. Smash the like. Welcome to the show, and let's get cracking, Bombay. How are you doing, first of all?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Thank God, I'm well, man. I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Big up everyone in the chat.
Yeah, man. How was your day? What have you been up to? You've been up to the good Luani. Here comes Luani.
Hey.
All right, Luani. Not you in the truck today, Luani?
Yes, sir.
Where are you?
I'm in Plattsburgh, upstate New York. So it's been a long week.
Good
evening, brothers.
Good evening, bro.
Yeah, big up Luani.
Big up Therapy Army. Thanks for the invite. Always a pleasure being here with you guys.
Pleasure having you, man.
It's always a pleasure having our favorite trucker. Our favorite trucker in the world. Man like Ben, in Turkey, man like in Istanbul, getting that sunshine. We see you, Ben.
Ben, Ben, put the light on. Let me see your teeth and hair.
Listen, it's 1:30 in the morning there. We can't make it.
Oh, big up.
Yeah,
looking good, Ben. Looking good, man.
How you doing, Ben?
I'm good, bro. I'm good,
hey,
blessed,
Ben.
bro. Turkey's phenomenal, bro. The people are just so respectful, so kind, just so welcoming. Me and my missus have just enjoyed ourselves so much today, and honestly, we'll definitely be back. 100%, we'll definitely be back in Turkey. 100% in our books. It's just phenomenal city, Istanbul, just brilliant, man. Honestly, very, very good. But big up all the Turks, anyways. Just honestly, they're just so welcoming. Like, obviously, some of them have actually been really, really fond of the Irish as well, and they're just so welcoming. That's it.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up, Ben. Listen, we know that's late, but we're so happy that you're having a great time, man. How many more days have you got left on a holiday?
I've got I'm back on Wednesday, so another 4 or 5 days, so not too bad, bro,
Yeah, you're going to be back before the big game.
100%, bro, 100%.
Before the big game, man. So you got the rest of the weekend. When did you arrive today? Yesterday?
I arrived on... What day is today?
Today's Friday.
Today's Friday. I arrived on Thursday, yesterday.
Yeah. Big up, man. Enjoy. Listen,
enjoying so far,
listen, the only thing I would say to you is be careful of the pickpocketers. There are some serious 100%. Professional pickpocketers, yeah? So be careful with your phone and, with your missus and the purse and all of that. Yeah, yeah.
100%,
Other than that, because when you go to the tourist areas, that's where the pickpocketers target people, isn't it? You know, where people are busy, where people are not people careful of that. But
Yeah, 100%.
enjoy the sunshine, man. And yeah,
Of course, bro. It's roasting.
Bumbaye was telling me that we need a full inspection of your hair when you get back. For that
He's going to be back in Belfast Airport. They're going to be looking hard at the picture of the passport. Are you sure?
Oh, mental.
Listen,
Classic.
it's all good, man.
Brilliant,
It's all
man.
good,
Brilliant.
man.
You know,
So
on
what
my,
time
on my level,
is
my
it nearly
level,
2
people
o'clock?
always say,
Yeah.
people always
It's
say,
nearly 2 o'clock.
oh,
Yeah.
people
Listen,
always say,
we don't
oh.
want to keep you too long, Ben. We don't want to keep you too long, seriously.
What,
Right?
Ben, you're not staying with us?
No,
No.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and he has to he's got plans to go and see the city. You know, he's got plans to see the city.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah, enjoy, man. Enjoy.
Listen,
Thank you,
enjoy,
bro.
Ben. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for jumping on, man. Big up,
No
Free
worries,
Island,
bro.
Palestine. Big up, love. Make
Always,
sure
bro.
you check
Always.
out people. Elmo on Twitter. You should share some of the stuff on Twitter, Ben. You should share some of
100%.
the
Did you get the pictures?
Yeah, I saw the photos. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Big
Brilliant,
up to
bro.
you, man.
Look after yourself, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, big up on
Yeah,
by.
good night's sleep, man, and enjoy your
Yes.
time.
Of course, bro.
Manchester United will do it to you, mate. And that's why you need to get away.
I'm doing it early.
There you go. Then get that therapy, get that sunshine.
Of course.
Yeah, nice one, Ben. Love.
Yes.
Take care.
Okay, bro.
No, Dim Bumbaye. You know, they say the trucking, some people think the truckers must have the best job in the world because we get to travel the country. But what people don't mention is, yes, we get to see the country, but we don't get to experience it.
Yo, everybody's gone to Turkey. Bluani, 1 second. Chef Ariane is also in Turkey. What the blood murder she wrote? Got a big up Nuruddin. It's nearly 1 year in Turkey. Going back Sunday, unfortunately, I've had such a wonderful time here. The hotels are the best I've been really good. You like it. Yeah, I've been to Turkey, man. I've been. Trust me, I've been. Big up to Mr. Beans. Big up to everybody, man. Love to everybody, man. Big up my brother Noah there. East Africa in the house, man. Big up to everybody, man. Seriously, big up. Big up, yeah. You know what? Big up to everybody, man. Go ahead, Luani. You were saying, bro.
No, I was saying about the trucking industry. People say, hey, you must have the best job in the world because, yeah, but you get to see the country, but you don't get to experience it. So what we do is just go from terminal to terminal. The only time you see the Manhattan skyline is when you're crossing the George Washington Bridge from Jersey into Manhattan. But you don't get to experience, you don't get to go into the city and experience it. There's nowhere. Most of the truck parking are outside the city and all that. So it's not exactly what people think it is. You know, of course, you get to see the country, the infrastructure, but you don't get to experience it the way anybody, a tourist, can experience a country, go to the main places and enjoy the population, the food, and all that. So it's a pretty.
Luani, when you're driving, man, what music are you listening to at the moment? Do you ever put music on?
Old school R&B and Afrobeat. The Afrobeat thing is for the past 5 years, but usually it's old school R&B. Is Donald Jones and
I see us in the park, strolling the summer days. Yes, Donald Jones back in the day.
Donald Jones back in the days, and yeah, old school R&B mostly. And then I'm watching podcasts, of course. I'm watching you guys if I'm not participating. So yeah.
You like Tupac?
Oh yeah. I like Tupac
My favorite.
As a revolutionary because he have a oh yeah, talking about revolutionary. Have you guys seen now we live in a country where a general is trying to tell another head of state how to use his country resources. See what the US general was saying about Traore. I know I'm still here, but I don't like what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of.
If that's not textbook of imperialism, I don't know what imperialism is. I thought imperialism is not supposed to be in the constitution.
Well, I'm
What's
hoping
going
to
on?
see the, land of the free, home of the brave people start coming out, because it's looking and feeling and tasting a little bit fascist over there now. The way this
Oh
government
God.
is moving, I'll tell you straight. But I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But Donald Trump, if you're watching, you white rhino, F you. The blonde rhino, the
I
blonde
can only
rhino.
smile to that. Nudin.
Yeah, don't do anything else.
Can't say anything,
Nudin, you
Bombay. Don't get him in trouble now.
No, no. Vote Trump, Luani.
what? No, no. He's
Bro, I
what?
struggle
He's
to
80.
I struggle to listen to a man whose name means fart.
Oh
Every time I
yeah,
open
yeah.
his mouth, you smell shit.
Listen, Bombay, seriously, you don't want to get him in trouble. I swear to
No,
God.
it's
He lives in a
me.
fascist country, man. We cannot speak to Lawani like he's.
Loani
We can snatch him up, man.
is a good man. I'm the bad one.
Sometimes when you just look at situation, why you just sit down and wonder what do you have to lose? Because if you scared of them snatching you up, then and
It's finished.
what's your identity as a human being if you can't
We're
say what you
finished.
think?
My point is proven, and you're right, Nuruddin. You are 100% right by the fact that we can't even have free speech and express an opinion anymore. Look at the world that we're living in. Look at the precedents that have been set in this world. And this is when I tell you a fascist world we're living in now. And it's moving very quickly. I'm on YouTube
Yeah,
talking amongst friends, giving an opinion based on facts that I'm seeing in unprecedented times. And we risk our sustenance and other things. What's this world come to, man?
yeah. Just down on me. Why are people so prone to repeat the mistake of the past? It's almost like history repeating himself. The signs are there. The whole thing that led into the Second World War, the Great Depression, and the rise of the Nazi Party and all that. It seems like we are in the same kind of mode. If people can just take time, go back and read a little bit about history, they'll see a lot of signs of the same things that's
He's right, man.
happening again. Yeah,
You know,
but just that.
Loani, you know what I tell Nuruddin and my boys and everybody? I thought about this before I came to this conclusion. Do you know who the freest people in the world are?
No, sir.
It's the Palestinians, bro. We are the ones that are not free. Think about it.
Yeah,
Not only
you're
the
right.
Palestinians, the ones that are taking the choice to say, no, man, my faculties tell me something is wrong. This is wrong. It looks wrong. It feels wrong. It speaks wrong. It tastes wrong. It smells wrong. It must be wrong. And I don't accept it. The civilized
Well,
world,
it's facts. It's
here, we are scared. This is going to happen. Man, what the hell? What the hell is this world? It's upside down, bro.
Yeah, it definitely is. It certainly is. Yeah, it's more than upside down. Zionism, yeah, fascism in it. Fascism reigns,
It's back,
but we'll
man.
resist in it like 100%. Palestinians, the Lebanese, people who are feeling oppressed, people who are the sharp end of the industrial military complex. Those people are getting it the most.
No,
So
bro, you respect somebody if they say, I'm scared, I don't want to lose my job. I respect that, no problem. But then how can I not respect somebody that says, no, man, I lose my life doing what I need to do? How can I not respect that person? It's
Yes,
impossible.
sir.
now the biggest thing for me
Yes.
is that people literally like are being exterminated as we speak right now. That's the maddest thing, and they're the freest people, honestly. The ones who are firstly next to me, and the most dignified people. But we say here on this channel, we keep it 100%. We don't give a fuck about being shadow banned. We don't give a fuck about people trying to silence us. Free Palestine, free Lebanon, free Sudan, free Congo, free everywhere where people are oppressed, and solidarity with Ibrahim Sissoko and solidarity with Burkina Faso and Niger and Mali and all of the people resisting
The whole of Africa, man.
Yeah. Those people who are resisting imperialism, we stand in total solidarity. And big up to the people in the US like Luwani as well, man. Because
100%,
oh boy, Luwani can get snatched off the street, man, if he says the wrong thing. For having an opinion, man. Damn.
Look, at this point, I've lived my life. You know, I have my kids. If they want to take me, they can do that. You know, I don't mind at all. I don't understand why the people, human beings, are just like so much empathy. You know, people are just trying to improve their life, improve their country. Sometimes they don't ask for too much. Where are we taking the greed? What are we gonna do with it? It's not eternal life. We eventually going to die, and you're not taking anything with you. So what?
I wish he lived in Manchester. He'd definitely be part of our crew, 100%.
Yeah, Luwani would be
Big
part
up,
of
Luan is the man.
Yo, he's part of the crew.
He is part of the crew, man. Yeah, he is. Of course, he's part of the crew, but he's been like embedded in the boys for sure.
Yeah, like listen, he's part of the crew. It's
Part of the crew. Listen, you keep chatting, we keep going like this. I swear to God, we start saying shit about Sir Jim and now, you fucking get snatched off the street for that.
Okay. Jim the Rat, mate. Big up, Lefso. Lefso, how you doing, bro?
Lesso, aka the South African Denzel Washington in the house.
Yeah, talk to me.
That's what I call him. He had this beautiful picture, you know. He was suited up. I was like, right, is it the Oscars? Shit, it's Lesso. You look dapper, man, I must say.
Can you guys hear me?
Of course.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, no,
we can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Big up to you guys.
Big
up
up
to the chat. And yeah, no, I was just listening prior before joining to what you guys were speaking about.
Yeah.
That is why, guys, I'm not in politics. You know, I vacated these things a long time ago because I realized how much of a fuss, of how much of a fuss all these things are. You know, and it's funny enough that all of them are all playing the same game. You know, it's all about making money. It's all about profit and margins. So honestly, that's why I'm more into the civil side of things. You know, where we do all we can to help people, and we don't even get paid for it. So it's all about uplifting the youth and everyone who needs the necessary help. But solidarity to all the people who are suffering across the world. It's just a sad state of affairs, honestly.
Yeah. Big up to Windy as well, and all the people in the US who are suffering the edge of the fascism as we speak right now. Big up, people. There you go. Denzel, the South African Denzel. He tickled Jamie Wayne. Big up, Jamie Wayne. Well, people, let's get into it. Sheikh Harian, have you got some of the quotes? Big up, Sheikh Harian. If you got some of the quotes from Amorim'S presser, please let us know. You can post them in a minute. But people, we got the game. Bournemouth beat us comfortably 3-0 at Old Trafford, smashed us. You remember? Or was it this season? They beat us at Old Trafford, no? What was the score? Do you guys remember?
It was 3-0, wasn't it?
It was that is the season. Seems like the never ending season.
Are you sure it's not the season before? Let me just double check, people.
No, I think they did beat us again 3-0.
Are you serious?
It was this season. Honestly, you'll never forget because with certain things, the way this club has been moving on, you can't forget the horror shows. Honestly, that's all I remember.
Shit. That's 2-3-0.
It seems like regardless of manager, every season we have a new bogey team.
No. They beat us. They beat us 3-0 the season before. But this season they beat us as well, didn't they? This is mad. Did they beat us this season as well?
Bro, everybody's whipping us.
Let me just put 2, 5. Seriously, in the chat, let me know. Did they beat us in a corresponding fixture? What was the score?
We're just getting clotted, man.
Yeah, definitely they beat us this season.
Bro, it's gonna take a while for you to find to sift through all the losses.
No, I found it. I found it. It was December. They beat us in December. It was in December 2024. Yeah, they beat us. It was 3-0.
Merry Christmas.
It was a header. It was a Dean Holson penalty by Clive, and Semenyo scored. They were the three scorers.
Yeah, another
3-0 in 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons in a row. Yeah.
Wow.
But listen, let's get to the presser. Injury news to report is that Mateus is near. So here's what he said. Mateus is near. Ruben asked what about Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot is injured. I'm glad because he played too many games, and it was only when you play players to death, they're gonna get injured. So Ruben Amorim even admitted that in the presser. After Diego Dalot, there is that possibility. I don't know, but we'll check week by because he works really hard and can recover quite well. It's a calf muscle, so that's what he's out for. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But anyway, to me, that players who are fatigued don't give you the best football. I don't like watching players who are fatigued. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think coaches cheat fans by playing players who are fatigued. Ruben Amorim, summer transfer, you could say that this is controversial at the end of the week, but I have no idea. It's clear we have to do things early, but things can change until the end of the season. Yeah, because we don't know what he basically said. He doesn't know what type of players we're going for. It depends if we're in a Champions League or not. Then the players that we are talking to changes. Links to McCunny's Cunha. All I say about Mateus, because I say it this time, I say it for the situation, yes or no. I will not comment about that. Yeah.
They did ask him why is he not mixing up the young players with the current crop of experienced players, in referring to the injury of Dalot. And he was talking about the fact that he didn't want the young players, he didn't want to put them in a situation that the team is not settled yet and that could affect their development, referring that he's actually protecting them. I just find that funny because so you said these young players they're good enough to be promoted from the academy, but they're not good enough to start the game. They can sit on the bench and watch the senior players such as Dalot perform bad week in week out, and that's supposed to be good for their development. So I don't know exactly what he's talking about.
Hey, bro, didn't he say he's gonna play the kids?
No, he never said that. He just said that he's going to prioritize the Europa League. And then he was asked that today. But here he's talking about players. He's having a part. If he's talking about Casemiro, he's saying that about players who have to leave the club. He's saying anything could happen. Casemiro is the best example. He's the player wasn't playing. Then you see the last games. He's having a part and he's performed quite well all the time. I like to change my mind, and if they change my mind, I'm really happy with that. I just want to win and put the best players in my team.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that one as well, on Casemiro as well. He said player wasn't playing. Why is he talking in the third person? You know, why is he talking? Why is he saying player wasn't playing? Just talk in the first person. Say I wasn't playing him because Casemiro was there. He was not injured. He was available, and he made the decision not to play Casemiro until it became a situation of speculation where people are saying that the relationship between both of them broke down and Casemiro is being linked to the Saudis. Now Casemiro is back in the lineup and they're asking him a direct question about it, and he's talking about player not playing. You know, if you think that is a mistake, just own up to it. Say that, hey, you know what? It took a little time to realize how important his leadership is for the team, but now we can go ahead and capitalize on that. But him saying that player wasn't playing, that didn't kind of sit well with me. I like managers to own to their mistakes sometimes when they make mistakes. or bad judgment call. So,
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you guys think about Bournemouth? So why don't we start with you today, man?
What do I think about Bournemouth?
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen against Bournemouth? Are you going for another 9 goals in 3 games?
Yeah, we definitely not gonna win that game. That's all I can tell you, and I don't think we're gonna get a draw either. At this point, looking at our fixture list, it's bad, guys. I think we could finish 17th.
Jesus, wow.
And you
Jesus.
know what? Hearing the manager says he's not gonna prioritize the rest of the league games, um, the least you can do, I wouldn't mind finishing 17th, but at least you can play the young players. Try them out and see who you can, integrate into the team next season or who you can send out on loan. Because how will you know if unless you've actually used someone and see how they'd be able to be integrated into the team. So I never understood the logic of trying to, play players that are leaving already. The likes of Ericsson and all these guys, they'll be gone. He's gone on a free in the summer. And you've got young players there languishing in the under 21s. And honestly, I think this whole under 21s should be scraped on our part because the players at that age should be at least, moved out on loan or somewhere. You're at that crucial stage of your development. And, playing under 21 football is not, advisable for a player, trying to, take it up to the next level and make it up to first team football. So on his part, I think, he should at least try out the some of the young players. And I don't think he will. Honestly, I don't think he will. I think he'll go with these safe options of playing players who've been on the bench. And honestly, I just don't get it. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Amorim will be here longer than what people think. This nature of him, not wanting to listen to advice or doing whatever he wants to do, and that's the impression I get from him, to be honest. And it's gonna work against him, unfortunately, in this case. And your youth usually is players that will save you. You look at Barcelona, for example, at the period where they were going through their transitional phase. They tried, they played around and they experimented a bit with their youth players and they combined that with the experienced players. There's no way you can just leave your players languishing and not trying to use them when they're available. You're at your period where pretty much the league games is done. There's no pressure. There's absolutely zero pressure, and it's the perfect time to try this out. But some managers will probably try and do that, when the pressure's on, and it wouldn't make sense, honestly. So, you've got preseason. He's gonna try and play them in preseason. Whereas if you play them now, and by the time they get into preseason, they've at least had a bit of first team experience, and then the development becomes a little bit more smoother because now they'll be more inclined with the tactics and as well as the way we want to play. So like these decisions are actually worrying, to be honest, and I don't see longevity in what we're trying to do here. So I think we're gonna lose that one, but pretty much I would have watched it. I'm personally not gonna watch that game. I don't know about you guys, but if we can get thrashed 3-0 with almost a full team there, and now we're gonna play, French players, and then we're playing these guys and they're chasing European spot right now. They're not missing at the moment. So they're gonna come in firing in all cylinders. So it's tough. It's tough. We're gonna lose this one, definitely. But I'll let the rest of you guys decide that one as well. But yeah, that's my point.
That's a positive start to the show. Thank you, Lesso.
Make the refreshing
do,
game.
do, you, do you need me to damper that a little bit?
Can you any chance of raising it just a notch?
Nah,
But
you're talking to the wrong
honest,
guy.
but to be
No,
honest, bro,
no.
he sets us up beautifully, really. He
No, I
covers it
think Leso
nicely.
is
Yeah.
100% right. I don't
Mm,
understand what's the policy of trying to integrate the young players in by leaving them on the bench. That's
yeah.
why I say he should just own it by saying that he get to a time where the pressure got to him and he was prioritizing results rather than
Yeah.
performance. And then at that point, he thought that the established starters are best suited for him to get results rather than trying to portray it as something of a development team. But in general, for Bournemouth, this is just a game. Um, it should be nothing else than a tune-up for our Europa League game. Nothing
Yeah.
else. He said it himself. We had a week extended rest time, and sometimes it could be detrimental when you have such a long resting period. So I think he'll probably start his starters the same thing he'll start again in our Europa League game. He'll start them, have them play like the first half or something, just to tune them up a little bit and bring in the young players. Or he'll go the other way. He can start with the young players and then bring in his starters for the Europa League. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just a tune-up. So now talking about Bournemouth themselves, we know what they're going to bring to Old Trafford. I don't know if it's away or at home, but we know what they're going to bring. They're going to pass the ball. They're going to keep it. They are a well-drilled team. They're very balanced. They have their threat up front in Evan Nielsen, who is in form actually. Semenyo and Justin Kluivert.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep the ball. They will pass it, and I don't know. We see if we can. If we, I don't know if we're gonna sit and wait for them to break us down, or if we're going to try to press them high. Regardless of what it is, it's not a game we're going to learn anything from. There's nothing, no outcome that can tell us exactly what we're going to expect in the future. So for me, it's just a tune-up game, and that's about it.
I agree with both you, man. Do you think just moving that question, developing it a bit? If Ruben Amorim, um, does it matter if we're finishing 17th or 14th or 13th? Um, and has he got one eye on that in case he loses the Europa League? Because imagine we're out of Europa and you're finishing, 16, 17. Because so that then what happens? Then where's Ruben Amorim standing?
You know, at
Do you
this
think
point, the
that's
season.
why it affects him, Luani, unless so maybe playing the kids or thinking, no, I still need to get the stuff, get the points if I can.
I don't know because I've stopped reading Amorim for a while now because when you
Mm,
listen to his press conference, he always come across as somebody who's very genuine. But then when you watch the way we play on the pitch and then the subs that he does, the personnel, the approach, it's almost like you seeing two different somebody who have a split personality. So um, well, the only thing he has right now to salvage the season is just focus on the Europa League, and that's it. Whether regardless of where we finish in the Premier League, it's not gonna matter because it's not going to tell us where we are in the project. Since we all agree that the season is a write-off, and we only going to start judging him when he bring in his own players next season. So
Yeah.
No, Roberto, what are your thoughts on this, man? The boys are saying, really, I mean, for me as well, I can't be asked watching the league games. It'll just be like filling 90 minutes, burning some time entertainment. I didn't watch Wolves. I'd be a bit more inclined if I was going to see some young guns showcase. Does it matter if my man is finishing 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th? And do you think he's maybe not going to play the kids because he needs them points? Because imagine we finish 17th, bro, bad position, and Europa's gone. How does that make you feel about Amorim at the end of the season? Does it change anything?
No, it doesn't change anything for me personally. It does not change anything for me, it just changes that the people who bought him here and the people who put him in this situation, I blame those people. I don't blame Amorim. I think that he has damaged his career. I think it was a risk that he took. He didn't want to come now. He wanted to come at the end of the season. And they said to him now or never. So he has made mistakes. But then I look at him and think, he doesn't know anything about the Premier League. He didn't watch the Premier League. He doesn't know half of these players. And he's using his time to find out a lot of things. I would judge him only if the players that they sign in the summer, how he develops them and how we start next season. But he's under huge pressure if we lose a game on Sunday. You know, if we lose that game again, he's under huge pressure because are we going to lose all of those games? And if we lose all those games, he's forever will be having the worst record in Manchester United history. He would have the
has he not got that already?
Yeah, I'm saying, but that will stick forever with him, you know. And there are actually some fans who think that he's going to be sacked at the end of the season. I was in a space the other day.
Wow.
Space is basically a place where you can chat to people on X, and people were saying, yeah, he's not going to be able to see the season. They said that he's going to be seeing it. Yeah, big up Saeed for the raid, man. I appreciate Saeed for the raid. Love people.
Big up, Saeed.
But welcome to the channel. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting what happens tomorrow. On Sunday. And I think if we get knocked out, then it's going to be really difficult if we get knocked out. On that, you'll have to hold it. You'll have to hold it. The players have to hold it. They'll have to own it. And to me, I think even after Amorim, if United not winning the Europa League will affect us in the next maybe 5, 7 to 10 years, because I don't see these Glazers or Jim the Rat putting his hands in his pocket and bailing out the football club. I don't see that happening. Instead, the club has become now, they stripped everything back, and it's going to be further strips where we're going to be a selling club anyway. We're going to be one of those football clubs, mid-table, mediocre. Big up Saeed for the raid. Love. Yeah, people smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, big up Saeed for the raid, man.
I keep watching his press conference. He keeps saying, we have a clear idea of what we want to do. That keeps coming out. We have a clear idea of what we want to do. Yeah, he keeps saying that. So every time he says that, I just ask myself, okay, you have a clear idea. When you say we, are you referring to your players? You referring to your board? You referring to yourself? But we fans, what we see on the pitch is something different. If you have a clear idea of what you want to do, we have a clear idea of what we're seeing. What we're seeing is a 30 you already have 30 game of sample size with 13, and after 6 months we don't have anything to hold on to for the future. So as much as you're trying to convince us, eventually it's gonna get harder when you're trying to convince your 22-man squad that this plan is gonna work. But with 13 plays, they know, some of them know that they're better than that. So who do you think the blame is gonna, whose shoulder is gonna fall on? It's gonna fall on him.
Yeah, the most interesting thing for me is that he won't be able to get away with what he's saying about plan. We've got a plan. All that talking points is going to be done. Like I said, I genuinely do not blame him. I think that he's a young coach. I think that he's the type of coach that needs specific kind of players to play his system, and he needs these type of players to be able to play in a way that works. And they have to all do it, and he needs very particular. And when he was at Sporting, they did it patiently. They built the team, with the director of football, with the Sporting club, Sporting as a football club. They believed in his ideas. They backed him to the hill, and the success came. But that's in the Portuguese league. The Premier League's a different level of beast, man. People get found out here very quickly. People are getting found out right, left, and center. So for me, the idea that he could say, "Oh, we've got an idea, we're gonna do," you're like, what's that gonna do when you could get sacked by the start of next season when you are telling us, yeah, you've got a plan. What plan?
Habibi, question them for you. question for you
Answer
and the
your own
boys.
question, bro. No, answer your own question. What you asking?
So, bro, what I was gonna say is, I'm answering my own question. You can help me out with it as well. I'll open it up to everybody. At this point in the season, yeah, obviously it's very hard to take this season. It stinks. It's just shit. It's like it's over when it shouldn't be. And we're just riding it out, hoping we're going to do something in the Europa League because it's absolutely paramount for many reasons, some of which you allude to. But we've given the man a complete free hit, which is unprecedented in a way. So my
100%.
question was going to be, man, has at this point, I know he's not got the players, I know he came in a bit early, but from what we've seen, have you seen anything at the moment to hang on to that gives you some faith in the future going forward, or are we just waiting for a transfer market and hoping something clicks?
I can say that I think we hope and pray. There is nothing that I see, but I knew already that none of these players will be able to play the football that he wants to play. Manchester United, if you look at it, it's the history of Manchester United. The only coach we've had in the last 13 years was Van Gaal, right? Van Gaal, unfortunately, was getting players that were fourth choice. And Van Gaal went and raided the youngsters, and those youngsters that he raided, there was only few that actually came through, but the rest of them were not of the quality, but he still tried to get them to play football. He still tried to coach them. So then we had, after Van Gaal, we had Jose. Jose is not asked about. It was certified counter-attacking football, ball behind the back, defending a low block. And Ollie tried to change the style of play. In one game against Liverpool, 4 players all got muscle injuries in 25 minutes. Remember, Liverpool first game, Ollie's at Old Trafford. They all of them pulled muscles in the first half. And he didn't even have any subs to bring them on. So, and then I look at how everybody else did it. You know what I mean? Ten Hag came in, could not steal any of his ideas, could not put anything in. So yeah, it was one of those. It was really one of those ways of people coming in, and then now we have a squad that is totally not for Amorim's style of play. For me, the biggest problem I have with Amorim is that you have 7 defenders on the football pitch and only 3 attackers. And for me, the key areas, and I keep saying this to everybody I think I'm going mad. I genuinely think I'm going mad. And I've even gone on YouTube, tried to watch some of the highlights of Amorim's games with Sporting, and found out how the 4 players, the 2 number 10s, the 2 in midfield, and the 2 wing backs were vital in the system to play good football. Football came from those people, especially the wing backs was so crucial because they were wingers who were taking the ball up the pitch. So I couldn't, I'm shocked at the fact that I'm not shocked or surprised. This doesn't shock or surprise me. What shocks or surprises me is that majority of people think he was going to come in and miraculously turn these players who we don't really rate, who were really bought for a different coach at a different profile to play this counter-attacking football or this basketballification of football, that he was going to get anything out of them. The guy that told everybody this was Dan Ashworth, and it cost him his job for telling the truth to Jim and the rest of the Ineos fools. He told them, this guy, we don't have the players to feed his system. And that's the reason why he always said, I wanted to come later as well. He said, I wanted to come later. I wanted to come to the end of the season. So then we can fresh start, recruitment, have a pre-season, get the boys conditioned to the way that we want to play football, and then go through the trials and tribulation. But pick up Jarvis. Jarvis, how you doing? Welcome. I hope you're well.
I'm well. I hope you guys are well, and big up to the therapy army.
Never gonna give.
Big up, brother.
Never gonna give you up.
There you go.
So yeah, I don't know. I haven't eavesdropped. I don't know what you guys talked about, but I guess
we're talking about can we afford to lose tomorrow? Sorry, Sunday. More games. Well, big up.
Modern Samurai.
Amari. Big up. It says Nuruddin, Amorim's truth is starting to become just like Eric Ten Hag's delusional takes in the presser. Big up the chat. Big up the panel. Yeah, big up to you. We appreciate the super chat, bro.
Listen,
No,
Amorim at this
100%.
point
You
is
keep saying it.
polarizing the fan base. In the chat, I see a lot of people that have a lot of faith saying we're going to eat our words and stuff, which is a good thing. But then there's a lot of detractors that already, they lost faith. This is why I'm asking, at this point, have you seen anything to hold on to, or is this just let's hope and pray he gets some players and then we start to see what we want to see, something to believe in? But at this point, have you seen anything? And Jarvis, if he loses these next few games, is he playing for the points, or is he just going through the motions and hoping the Europa? And if he loses the Europa and we finish 17th, 16th, what could that mean? Does that mean anything?
I don't know. It's a good question. Personally, I don't give a rat's ass about the last 5 games in the league. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I would like to see some of the youth getting some game time, maybe some experience for next season. But for me, if you come in 13, 12, 16, 17, it's a disaster anyway. So, but I would really like to see more of these Fredricksons and Heavens and all of these Amas, these young guys getting some game time. And quite frankly, I'm fed up by watching Højlund stinking up the place on top. So I would rather see Cheeto, Obi Martin playing the full 90 in all of the last 5 games. I would like him to get some experience, because Højlund, there's no use playing him. He won't learn. Amorim said himself. I'm showed him all the videos, blah blah blah. So I feel that even Amorim is starting to give up on Højlund, and we as a fan base, we have given up on that guy from a long time ago. But it's all about Europa League. I think the only issue for Amorim now is how to keep, because when you're in a competitive environment and play football, it's hard to just switch on and off. Even though a lot of these Man United players are used to this switching on and off. They turn on when they meet Liverpool or when they meet Arsenal, and turn off when they meet Everton the next week. But that's the issue now for Amorim, how to keep them switched on and get that competitiveness going. Because if we switch entirely off and then we come into the semi-final against Real Betis, but Bilbao, I think it will be hard to switch that switch on again. So we might lose out because of it. So I think Amorim needs to find a middle way in this, and play some of the youth and still keep the United train going. I don't know what to call it, but
the juggernaut
issue. I don't know how we will do that. I don't know if any of you have a good suggestion.
It's going to be very difficult, but I'm not blaming everything on Amorim. I think he has to take a lot of responsibility the way we play, the 5 at the back, and I'm sick of that. I'm sick of watching that 7 players, defensive players. Big up to Mina, by the way. Congratulations on yet another award, superstar.
Yes.
Queen, we're always proud of you. Big up for the Voice, one of the awards from the Voice newspaper. Big up. That to me, that award would mean a lot more to me than any other awards from you know who. So big up to Mina and love to her always. We support and love Queen. Big up. Make sure you check her out, Mina.
All the time.
Mina Football. Make sure she's doing amazing work. Please follow her all across social media. Mina Football. I think that's going to be difficult. I think Sunday's going to be difficult. Jarvis, before you came along, we had to check because we were like, was it deja vu? Did they beat us 2 seasons in a row, 3-0 at Old, you know what I mean, at Old Trafford? And yes, they did. They beat us 3-0. And it's crazy. It's scary. It's crazy. People, please smash a like. Big up to Saeed for the raid. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. We're shadow banned because we talk about the real stuff that's going on in the world, and we don't give a damn what people are saying. So smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, people. But at the end of the day, I genuinely would think that Manchester United need 11 new players. I'm not going to lie to you. 11.
No, that's not going to happen, Nuruddin. That's fantasies. We can't sign 11 new players.
So
we have to just deal with what we got. So we have to trust Amorim actually to do a job, and hope that we select the right ones to leave and get the signings, the right signings in. And the thing is now, I've been thinking of this, the debate about selling Garnacho, selling Mainu. For me, the more I think of it, the more I believe it's not the right move to sell any of them, because I think we need the best players we have, and just start to get rid of the dross. And the thing is, if let's say if we sell Garnacho, gives us 60 million, okay, and we sign another wing back or winger, could he be as impactful as Garnacho is? And the thing is, we saw Garnacho last game. He could have had 3 assists if Mason Mount, Bruno, or Højlund could put the ball in the net from 8 yards and in, but they can't. So are we really? His decision making is dreadful, but he's young. I think he can improve, and same with Mainu. I think both of them can be really good in the future, and it would
When
sadden me
it
a
comes
little bit
to
if
Amorim,
we let them go. So I think we just should keep them. That's just me.
Let me just give you a bit of facts about the game, because I don't want to be, let's just give some facts. Team news. Bournemouth midfielder Lewis Cook will be assessed as manager minor fitness issue. Luis Sinisterra is still not fit enough to feature, while Enes Unal and Ryan Christie is long-term injury absence. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has revealed Diego Dalot might miss the rest of the campaign with a calf problem. Amad Diallo, Matthias de Ligt are close to return, but Aiden Heaven is further behind in his recovery from injury. Sandro Martinez and Josh Sixwell are out for the season. Match facts. So, head-to-head, the 7 points Bournemouth have picked up in a 3-match unbeaten run against Manchester United is as many as they has accumulated in their first 12 against the Red Devils, winning 2, drawing 1, losing 9. The 8 goals United have conceded in those 3 games is as many as they have shipped in their previous 11 matches versus the Cherries. Bournemouth's tally of 49 points has already hit their highest figure of top-flight campaign. The Cherries are among the record 3 consecutive top-flight clean sheets for the first time since November 2019. The 3rd game in that run was 1-0 home win against Manchester United. Only Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool have had more shots this season than the Cherries, who have registered 526 attempts on goal. They have hit the post at least 21 times in top flight this season, a joint high with Liverpool. The 116 shots Antonio Semenyo has attempted is the joint most by any Premier League player this season, with 5 games to go. Already the most shots in the most shots as a Cherries player that's ever had in a top flight campaign. However, Semenyo has scored just 4 of his last 15 big chances, and he's netted just once in his last top flight matches. Well, he'll be ready for United tomorrow. Defeat would make the Manchester United. The defeat would make the first time that Manchester United have lost 16 times in the Premier League campaign. They have lost as many league matches this season as in 1988-99, when they also were also beaten 16 occasions. United have failed to score in 13 Premier League games this season, total exceeded by Everton 14 and Leicester by 15. Bournemouth could become the 6th side this season to complete the league double over Manchester United. Will be the most the Red Devils in a single campaign since 1933-34, the highest in top flight since 1930 to 31. That was during war days. The war days. The Red Devils average 0.5 points per game under Ruben Amorim. Only the bottom 3 and Tottenham have a lower figure since his appointment. Only the bottom 3 and Tottenham have accrued fewer top flight away points than the Red Devils, who had 17 on the road this term. Bruno Fernandes has created 77 Premier League chances this season. a total exceeded by only Cole Palmer prior to the latest round of fixtures. Fernandez's shy record of 10 Premier League assists for the second time, having accumulated this in 12 in 2020-21. For me,
in other words, he's carrying the team, right?
What? Bruno Fernandes stat created. That stat is one of the weakest stats ever because it doesn't tell you the type of fans he created. If he created a tap-in, if he created like somebody on a one-on-one, it doesn't really tell you. It does not really tell you the type of creation.
His PR is just extraordinary. When it comes to Amorim, I struggle to understand in our fan base because I try to describe it that it's a case of misplaced faith in our fan base. And then people tell me it's an agenda. Even though sometimes it's personal, that's okay. But people who trust Amorim, what is it based on? When you ask them what it is it based on, they're going to tell you that, it's based on his track record in another league, the Portuguese league. Fine, flash news. How does the Portuguese league translate into the Premier League? So far, what I've seen is a 13th place position, how we're playing on the pitch. And I don't see anything that we can take into from this season into next season. So,
but the question, the narrative you put is wrong. It's not about people trusting Amorim or not. It's about giving him a chance. We hired a guy to come in and do a job, and we don't giving him the player he needs. And besides that, we know our squad is shit. We know they are shite, and they are dreadful footballers. So even if we have brought in Ancelotti or whoever, the best managers in the world wouldn't have made a difference if we can't support the manager. And the problem is, I'm not trusting blind in Amorim, no, but I'm willing to give him a chance, and I think a lot of the fan base and people are willing to give him a chance, not based on blind faith, but we know he's brought in as manager. We have to have someone to be our head coach or manager. So it's important.
Jarvis, I'm listening to your argument, right? When you say when in defending Amorim, say we're going to give him a chance, we need to give him a chance.
Yes.
You are already saying our squad is shit, which is not a fair assessment of our squad. Our squad is not shit. Our squad is underperforming, and that always comes to
Luani, our squad
everything
cannot play to his system. They can't. The only system that our squad knows is counter-attacking football. That's the only thing they know. They can't play modern football.
No, whether it's counter-attacking football, whether it's Amorim system, we are underachieving as a team. So based on the fact that we are underachieving, I can sit down here and say that and question him. It's a 30-game season. I'm pretty sure when we were bringing him in, and we say you have a 30-game sample size. If you have asked him himself, he will tell you that he didn't think with the squad that he have on paper and where he is in the table today, he wouldn't tell you that he will be at this position. That means that him himself, he recognized that he's underachieving. So now we're here trying to we can't just clean up that. We can't just clean up a whole season and say that he needs to get his own players, because getting his own players doesn't give us a guarantee that we're going to see better football, doesn't give us the guarantee that we're going to see better results. I'm just talking based on what I've seen. Most of the people are talking based on his track record in another league, based on his track record with the player that they identify as his player. We still don't know how that is going to translate into the Premier League. We don't know if Cunha is going to come and revolutionize our team. But we know that if we want to compete as Manchester United, we can give him 7-star, say 11-star players on the pitch, fine. But he still have to compete against the other coaches. He still have to coach eventually. He still have to be better than them tactically. He still have to find the right balance for the team. He still have to find the right selection. And so far, he have 30. My issue is the game that he has, the sample size that he has. At least if he give me something that I can carry into next season, at least I'll have a little hope. But there's nothing that we can translate into next season. All we have is Ahmad. Okay, let's say Ahmad. Ahmad is a good player, but there's nothing tactical about what we're hoping for Ahmad for next season. We just an individual, a good player, individual quality that we hope his form can carry into next season. But nothing in the way Amorim used him that suggests that next season we're going to have the same player on our hand. We're going to have him perform the same way. This is all about coaching for me. It's not personal. It's not that personal. I just don't like, you know, when somebody is underperforming, you just, give him 1 year, see everything he's done, and saying, you know what, it's okay. Good luck trying to explain to those players in the locker room that, hey, we just went through a whole season. I convinced you guys, motivate you guys to get on the pitch and play, and then this whole season is a write-off. And let's go again next year.
I genuinely think there's a fundamental misunderstanding, and I want to bring Lesso and Bumbaye into this conversation. Fundamentally we don't agree, we don't disagree with you, but what we're saying to you is that the players, Manchester United, were failing already. That's why Erik Ten Hag was sacked in that time. Amorim was brought in. Well, the season was already halfway. Amorim was not backed in the January transfer. They actually made the squad weaker. Now, a lot of the people in your camp believe the players are not as crap as they are, but unfortunately, we disagree. The fundamental disagreement is that some of our players are horrendous. They have no physicality, no technical ability. They look shoddy, and there is something rotten to the core of this toxic football club that has always been getting worse season by season. Season before we lost 12 games. Season before that we lost 12 games. This season now we're on record to lose maybe 20 games or maybe 18 games or 17 games. So what we're saying to you is that regardless who the manager is, Manchester United have been getting worse and worse. And we always say the link from the boardroom, from the owners to the football pitch is like that. You can't have one without the other. It's the front of house, the back of house connecting with the front of house, and how they mesh. So for me, and I think the quality of player, when we had Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, that's the last time Manchester United scored goals. I think that season we scored 70-something goals. And we had in the midfield behind Bruno, Matic, Pogba. That's the midfield we had. I think in those front six positions, Manchester United have got worse and worse. I think, for me personally, in my lifetime, supporting Manchester United, sneaking into that stadium with Bumbaye when we were kids, this is the worst attack I've ever seen in Manchester United. This is the most I have seen Manchester United defend with 5-6 players. Now, this is where the criticism for Amorim comes in. We're not defending with 5. That's not in our vocabulary. And the way he's doing that, the way we are so deep, the way we get pinned back, he's to blame. But he was bought in from a league that's totally different to the Premier League. And I don't blame him because, like I said to you, Luwani, people in your camp don't get away from the fact that you think Amorim bought himself here. You think Amorim is giving himself the millions that he's giving him and is giving himself the contract. And majority of the players who we've got bought themselves and are playing themselves. No, the club bought them. But you guys always want to run away from who is responsible for the shit show. Amorim could be sacked. Like Erik Ten Hag was sacked. Like David Moyes was sacked. Like Jose Mourinho was sacked. But what is it, Luwani, that we keep getting worse?
We fan, Nuruddin. We fan are responsible for the shit show. We fan, Manchester United fan. We are in a state of we are being compromised emotionally. We are like you. I don't know if you watch that cartoon Ratatouille. You know when that guy come in to taste the food and he tastes the food and it remind him of his childhood and he started crying. That's why we are. That's why we are as fans. The Glazer come, the rats will serve us some shit food, thinking that we still, tasty, reminding of us of our glory days. And we all take it and lap it. We lost complete inside of judgment. And it's our fault as fans because we are accepting that every year in, year out, we are accepting the standard to be dropped. The standard is being dropped in transfer with the board. The standard is being dropped in players that we bring in. The standard is being dropped to evaluate the coach on his performance. And it trickle all the way down. It's because of us. Just because you support a coach unconditionally doesn't mean that he will succeed by default. He still have to push his way through the league.
But Lavani, is the standard dropping because of his tactics, or is it dropping because of his
I
selection? Or
I
his
think
in-game
something.
management? Where's the issue?
Before you answer that, yeah, I think Wendy has put a question that can give you the answer maybe you're looking for. Wendy says, if Amorim was brought in as an interim manager, would you offer him a 2-year contract at the end of this season?
No.
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 But none of us would
We don't
offer
have
him
the
a
players.
contract in the first place
We
because
don't
it
have
was
the
the
players
wrong
that
time.
fit his system. We don't
Sorry?
have the players. So how can I offer somebody something when we don't have the players that fit his system?
So
and that they
what?
actually made him weaker in January.
Okay.
I don't think
So
all you guys are hearing me.
no,
They
no.
made him weaker in January by
bro,
taking
listen.
2 attacking players away from him.
I hear you. Everybody hears you. But the thing is, I think at this point, I've got 2 ways. You deserve one of them, and Luani deserves one of them. Because right now, one thing we all agree, I think we all agree, and that's why we all say no to that. Has Amorim showed me anything to hang on to? The answer is no. So people are within their right to say this guy is not going to be the guy. I think that is fair. But like I'm with your camp. But although I think they have absolutely the right to say that because this has been shocking. Really, the best it gets for United is we were all right today. We started to see signs of what we're trying to do, even though we got bashed again. That's pretty much as good as it gets. Or maybe a victory against a big team, or a performance for 60, 70. That's as good as it's got this year. It's been shocking. But the nuance to that is what you're saying, which is, look, I cannot actually make a judgment or answer that question accurately. The man has not got the tools to do the job in the way that he wants to do it. When he gets them, then we can have this conversation more accurately. At this point, I feel it's fair that you can listen to both people because I have to be realistic. Maybe Amorim is out of his depth. Maybe Amorim's system is not going to work in England. Maybe if Amorim has a transfer window and gets 4 or 5 players in, well, then that'll come with another set of things, which will be, no, we still need another transfer window. So it's it's kind of a free hit season. I don't think that is going to work. I think the pressure will eventually build because this season's been so shocking. And if you don't win the Europa League, 10, 12 games in, if we're seeing nothing, you're going to start to think, well, maybe this is really wank. And the people that have said, let's cut our losses because he's out of his depth were right. This is natural. This is how it will always be. Me and Jarvis were here with Ten Hag. Everybody said season before, this guy is dog. Get him out. Me and Jarvis said, actually, no. We went with the injuries. We wanted some players. We wanted some time. After 17 games, I caved in. Jarvis maybe would have stuck in there a little bit longer than me. But I caved. I was like, no, I've seen enough. I'm with you guys now. You're right. That's how this always will be forever with every manager that comes in until Manchester United get a manager that makes them great and gives the helm to the next manager who can be judged because this is a quality winning side playing a good brand of football. Now you have to fit in line with the team and the club because we are on a good trajectory, a good thing. Right now, we're looking for the right guy to make that happen. And either we're not given enough time, but you have to buy your time. You can't just say, right, come 17th for the next 3 years. Don't worry about it. As long as in the
Mumbai, no, that's
challenge.
not happening. Mumbai, that's not happening.
It's not going to happen, is it? That's not going to happen.
Listen, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. I know. Yeah.
Fundamentally, there's a cultural problem at Manchester United.
That's part of the remit, though.
Here, even the coaches that I didn't want Moyes. I didn't want Jose. I knew that the only thing was gonna wrap itself, right? And that he was especially as soon as he started sucking off the Glazers, I was done with Oli. I was really done with him when he starts telling me about how good the Glazers were. That's when I was like, and I never voiced it, but I was like, I didn't blame him because they didn't buy the players that he wanted. But I'm telling you, the culture is at the rotten at the football club. And I genuinely do not believe that majority of fans understand that. That's why it's always to scapegoat one person. It's not one person's fault for why. It's not. Because I do not believe all of those coaches were horrendous. The culture at Manchester United is rotten. Lesso, I don't know if you agree, disagree. The idea that it's one person that's going to fix us and it's going to be one person's fault that we're with the way we are. No, it's the culture. Jarvis talked about it. It's the mentality as well. But go ahead.
Yeah, I do fundamentally agree with that. It's failure from, it's a collective failure sort of thing. And unfortunately, that's how it has always been. With all the managers. It's never been. I've never really, even with Tanakh, like I've even said it that time when I kept on saying he needed to go. I never said that he was the only problem. That's why I always emphasize that the problem, as long as we have those people upstairs, unfortunately, you need to be a Sir Alex Ferguson to succeed at this football club. It's that simple. You need to be a special, one of those managers that comes every 50 years or so. Because even then, when you actually when you really look back at our history in itself, prior to Sir Alex Ferguson, we struggled as well. It took someone special like him to actually come in and rebuild this team and turn it into what it was. So, Manchester United at this point also needs someone of that similarity, unfortunately, because of how rotten we are. It's because of how bad we are in terms of the way we've been running the club and the culture in itself, and all these bad things that have, that circulate around in the environment overall of the organization. It's you cannot look at one person for this. We can bring in a manager. Like I always tell people that it's only gonna probably improve slightly. But I'm not sitting here and saying that we're gonna get back and then win Premier League titles again and do all these things, because we're not. We're not in that position. Until that upstairs situation is sorted out, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be sorted out. And I knew the minute when Jim Glazer came in here, that it's another 10, 15 years of this nonsense. Because basically these guys are coming in to leverage whatever they're going to come and leverage. And it's a vanity project for them. Unfortunately, I was only hoping that at least they appoint the right people, and somehow that may actually cover up whatever they're doing that's messed up, and somehow we actually try and win trophies and basically scumbag a few, like we've been trying to do these past years. But it's all falling flat. These guys are actually looking at sacking Barada as well. So we're sacking CEOs. We're going to sack sporting directors. We're going to do all these things, and we're going to start from scratch. We don't know what we're doing. There is absolutely no direction at this football club. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there is no direction. Because if we really had a plan, I don't think we make these many mistakes. We don't. In terms of recruitment, in terms of who we bring in, and especially in terms of the structural top-level management. You have to plan in advance. You have to.
But the club doesn't learn, and we got now Ineos, and I feel so bereft. Like I have to keep repeating and reminding fans, because fans get really tunnel visioned about the coach. We get obsessed with the coach, thinking he's going to save us. No, the club culture is not there. The club culture is not there. The leadership is not there. But anyway, people, listen. Quickly, I just want to go around before we go into the transfer window talk. The latest transfer news. I'll go to Jarvis. Jarvis, give me your score on Sunday. What do you think the score's going to be on Sunday? And because I don't think we can afford to lose another game in the Premier League. That's me personally. I think you can't switch it on and off. I think you only get away with it so much. So, what do you think the score's going to be on Sunday? What are you predicting?
For me, I think Bournemouth is one of the best teams in the Premier League in the way they play football. I rate Andoni Iraola. I've talked about him so many times. And I saw it right away how he set up his team, how solid he set up his team. They are really hard to beat. And actually, when you look at the expected points table, you know the stats XG. Bournemouth sits in third this season. They are expected to have at least 58.72 points. So they should sit in third by the way they play. But they don't have the quality in players to get the vision of Andone Iraola out there. And why we didn't sign that guy as our next manager, I don't get it, because I think he was the obvious choice. He was
I
the
wanted
obvious.
Zerbi, by the way. I just wanted a
Yeah,
better
but De
football.
Zerbi is I think De Zerbi is a special tactical guy, and Don Iraola is not.
Well,
He sets up, like Ferguson, a really solid, hardworking team. It's all about mentality and getting them to play as a team, and I think that's what we need. Ten Hag is a special tactic kind of guy. I would say Amorim is the same. I would say Serbia is the same. And I
I
don't
think
think a
Zerbi's
manager like that will work at Man United at the moment because of the
sorry,
lack of
Jarvis.
quality in our squad.
Sorry, Jarvis. I think
Yeah.
I genuinely I think you see De Zerbi totally different. De Zerbi's nothing like Ten Hag, nothing like Amorim. De Zerbi believes improving individual players, repetitively doing the thing, drilling the same ways of playing, like getting them to play out the back, set the traps, overload. He does that so well. His ideas are more clear, more direct, and he's obsessive about it. Amorim and Ten Hag are nowhere near. I think Areola is special. Areola is up. I actually think Areola and De Zerbi are the same. But De Zerbi believes more attacking, while Areola believes in more like keeping teams compact, setting traps,
Solidity, I
counter
would say.
pressing. Yeah. That's the only difference. But I think they're similar in terms when they get the ball and where they travel with it and the overloads they create. But Ten Hag and Amorim are similar, 100%. De Zerbi is not. De Zerbi is a maniac like Iraola. Iraola is a maniac. Training ground, drill. We drill again, we do it again till we get it right. And when you see their teams, when you see the Zerbi team, you can straight away see from the way they combine, how they get out, how they get into midfield, and then how they overload. Now, he doesn't have the quality in mass. If you give him the same quality as Paris Saint-Germain players, he'll be up there. You see what he's doing? You see what he's doing over there? So that's the difference for me. And what he did for me, Brighton were the most entertaining team to watch in the Premier League in the last couple of years when he was there. But carry on.
Yeah, but my point is, but I agree with what you're saying. They both have a really clear way of style of play, and there's no way around it. You have to do it their way or the highway, I would say. And I watch a lot of clips, snippets, videos of Iraola while he's at training and how he talks to the players. He's almost like a professor, but he's very clear. He knows what he's talking about. He has the competence. And I really respect that. I think a football manager should be like that, or a coach or a head coach. But going back to the game, I think we will struggle again because we know they are solid, they're hard to beat, and when it comes to solid mid blocks, we struggle. We see this all the time. Every time we come up against a solid mid block, we don't know how to break them down.
By the way, breaking news. Atletico Bilbao has a proper mid block. They don't play like Spanish teams. They're not as open. They play really solid mid block. Just letting you know.
Yes,
they don't
it worries me.
Yeah,
it worries me. So score prediction. Yes, I think we definitely will lose that game, and I don't know how much, but let's say 3-1, because I think they're too good at the moment. But I just want to say, when it comes to when this question about that she put in earlier about Amorim, I think it's up to us as a fan base to have more patience with the manager and what are we actually expecting? I mean, when we brought in Amorim, I said it right away. People were like, "Oh, you just want Amorim to fail because you wanted Ten Hag to stay." People don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that we need patience. If we are bringing in a 3-4-3 manager who needs wing backs, who need with center backs who are playmakers, we need a number 10, two number 10s who actually know how to drop down, when to drop down, not too deep, always be in attack, ready for the punch, play with intensity, and actually have a number 9 who knows how to hold up the ball, you know, and
Jarvis,
stick
that's where
himself
I
in between the
fundamentally
center backs, bind
disagree.
them both two
You
up,
know,
and push in front of goal, press them down into their own box. We don't have any of this, and a lot of people said
that's where I fundamentally disagree. It's just a difference in philosophy or opinion. I don't believe football need to be played with specific player for specific position. When it comes to Amorim, we're talking in relation
Modern
to
football is, Luwani, breaking news. Modern football is. Modern football is.
That's not
It
true.
is.
No,
Luwani, it is.
Okay,
Luwani,
this is what I believe, right?
You know, let him land, man.
Listen, no, Luwani, let me say something to you. They asked Pep Guardiola, who's the top manager in world football in the last 15 years? Pep Guardiola. You know what they asked to Pep Guardiola?
Klopper.
If you manage a team in the lower divisions, you know what he said? No, I couldn't. I need specific players. And I look at a player like Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish came. Jack Grealish was a ball playing number 10 ball playing winger at times, can play either wide or can play inside. He needs to put Pep Guardiola in his system, even when he gets the players that can maybe are technically good enough to keep hold of the ball. He even specifically asks him to forget. He wipes their brain of the way they used to play and gets them to do specific things that to fit. Listen to what Thierry Henry said. Thierry Henry said, you know what? I was one of the best players in the Premier League. I go to Barcelona. You know what he says to me? You're out wide on the left-hand side. And I need you to do this, do that, do that. I don't need you to be touching the ball. I need you to hold the width. I need you to. So I'm sorry. When you say that in modern football, like old school football, 100%. Old school football was about man management, and it was about the shape and the team and getting the best out of the characters, and obviously having really good players as well that can actually play the game. It was about simplifying the game. Now, modern coaches, Luwani, have overcomplicated the football. There are more things. There's more of the stuff that coming from the American model of sports that you watch. All of the stats, all of the different things.
No, then allow me to offer a rebuke, right? What I think we're confusing is that the modern coaches, they need versatile players to do specific things. We tend to think that they need specific players to do something specific. That is two things different. Most modern coach use versatile players. The players have to be technical enough to hold the ball and pass it, play a small game, and they have to be athletic enough to stretch the pitch. But when we look at it like, oh, you need a specific player to do a specific thing. Now, let me take the example of Amorim, right?
Luwani, I agree with you. Listen, Luwani, I agree with you. That's why, if you remember the conversation we used to have about Ten Hag, I said, why did you get a coach that needs specific type of players to be able to play his system? I kept saying that. And then what we did now with Amorim, we've even tripled down, quadrupled down, and said we're going to get even more specific type of guy who plays in the system that needs to have a certain profile players to be able to play in that system. I blame the football club for that. I understand what you're saying. There are other coaches, Luwani, in modern football that we have seen who just come in, who assess the squad, right? They assess what they've got. Then they go, right, I want to see in training what we're going to do. This is the type of football we can play. I'm going to adapt to the players. And instead of the players adapting to me, and we're going to get results. That exists. That's also part of it. But what I'm saying to you, the last two managers and coaches that Manchester United have gone for, both of them one of them from the Dutch league, one of them from the Portuguese league, they need specific type of profile of modern footballers who are technical and physical, that can absolutely cover ground, can win one-on-one duels, can take the team to, and then can also up front can make the biggest difference. Could
But
score
no,
so many
that's
goals.
not
That's why they
specific.
were
That
both.
is
Let me finish,
versatile.
Luani, I need to get this out, and then I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna get this out, and I'm gonna shut up. Let you break it down what you're going to say. That's why if you looked at Amorim and you looked at Ten Hag, in both of the leagues that they played in, their teams were the top scorers, least goals conceded, because the way they drilled, because of the specific footballers that they had, and in the culture in those clubs as well, and the culture of those leagues. Now I'll let you come in.
Okay. The way I see football, right? Football is a game of chess and checkers, if you want to say it like that. When you take a versatile player, his best attribute is to disguise the system of the manager. If you have Amorim, for example, he already have a rigid system, the 3-4-3. Now imagine adding specific players to that system. It makes it even more predictable. But when you have versatile players, it helps disguise the system. And that's a manager's best friend. The example of our team, right? Amorim wanted Ugarte. We all know that Ugarte is good at retrieving the ball and then 5-yard pass. He can't do anything else. Now, if I'm in the video room and as a coach, I'm Amorim, I'm telling Ugarte, you see the goal we score against Lyon, our first goal. You see the run that Ugarte made. If you watch that goal very well, the run that Ugarte made, where he started and where he ended up on the pitch, that's something that they work on the training ground. The ball went to Bruno over the top. Bruno passed it to Garnacho. Garnacho made his run from the left side, went to the ball, dragged the defenders. Ugarte made his run from the right side and then end up at the position where Garnacho. That's a training, right? Now, if I'm Amorim, I'm telling Ugarte, you making that run. That's the run I want you to make. But we know that Ugarte is limited. Ugarte cannot attack. He's not the best player in attacking the ball. Okay, if I'm an opposing coach, we are doing our own video session as well. I'm telling my players, when Ugarte made that run, don't worry about him. He's a decoy. He's not good in the final third. You see that? Because I'm planning based on the limitation of Ugarte. But the manager that's planning that, our manager is also telling Ugarte to make that run. Now, if you switch Ugarte for Casemiro, suddenly when Amorim tells Casemiro to make that third man run, we all know that Casemiro can attack the ball in the final third. Now that plan is a little bit more believable for the opposing coach. Now the opposing coach can take that bait because that third man run, the opposing coach, if you see Casemiro starting the lineup, he's gonna start talking to his DM, say, hey, when this guy make that third man run, you guys need to follow him. Keep an eye on him because he's a threat. At that point, the coach, based on Casemiro's versatility, can design a system that can use Casemiro to take the players away and liberate the space for somebody else. So it's all about versatility. What I'm trying to say is that the more versatile players you have in your system, the better the coach is able to disguise it, and that helps him win games. If you have predictable players that are limited or players that are specific, it becomes so predictable. And that's why Pep has been so successful, because most of his players are versatile. The ones that are not versatile.
Luani, they're not.
I think this is
the fundamental disagreement is this: that Pep Guardiola coaches their versatility out of them. Jack Grealish is the classic example. And
that is wrong. That is wrong. He's finding out right now. That's why he's finding out.
Please, let me finish.
Yeah.
Then you see Sterling leave Manchester City and go to Chelsea and does not look like the same player, because the same positions, the way that he coached him, Chelsea were not ending up in the same kind of positions for Sterling to do all the tap-ins that he used to do. So what modern coaches, they need, for the way they play, the more specific they are, the more they need. And the difference between what you don't understand about Amorim is that Amorim, when he first got there, he cleared out so many players. He cleared out so many players. And they built that. They bought the youngsters through. They bought players. He molded the squad. At United, this squad was molded for Ten Hag and Ten Hag, who's been the most back coach at Manchester United, and it was still a mishmash. It was because they never followed through when they were talking about backing him in one area. They just bought players from all different parts, from different positions, and then it's a mishmash. And that's what's always been. We spent $1.5 billion on mishmash of players. But I don't want to get tied up on this, and I want to move on to what the transfer window is. But give me your score for Sunday, because this conversation can go on for years and years and years. It's just a fundamentally
I think
disagree.
I'm going to be positive. I think we win 2-0.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know where you're getting that from. Listen, who's Bumbaye? Are you still making noise in the background? What are you? Why have you got plastic bags that you're shoveling around? What are you doing?
I don't know.
If you're not breathing too hard, it look like you're changing the bins or you're taking the rubbish out.
No, I'm not changing. I'm gonna go for stay true to form. Another 3-0 clipping. We'll go with that. They're hungry. They're coming. We've got one eye on that Thursday game. We're shite. They're rocking. We're getting popped. There you go, 3-0. But by the way, big up Luani and Dion. That was really fascinating listening to that. Some really good insights, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally for me, I just believe that modern coaches and modern football is really effed. I really think that modern way of playing, everybody tried to follow Pep Guardiola and these specific type of ways. I think it's really messed up the football. I really think that it's taken out the
freedom, man.
The magical freedom of footballers used to have.
Grealish is a beautiful. You know, Giggs said today in an interview, he goes, he's a Man United player. He's gone to City. He's having a successful part, but he'll look back at that and say he didn't enjoy it. I loved Grealish, but he's wasted at City.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Man City, there's only a couple of players that are giving freedom. The one that was giving the most freedom was Kevin De Bruyne in the last 10 years. He was the one that was giving the most freedom. And before that, it was David Silva. But yeah, let's know, what do you think the score is going to be on Sunday?
So, I think it could be 3-1, guys. Maybe we may sneak in a goal if we're lucky.
We're improving.
I think.
I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a draw because I can't predict Manchester United to lose every game. I'm not giving into that. I'm not giving into that bullshit. Manchester United need to get fucking results because...
What is your heart telling you, Nuruddin?
My heart is telling me that we're going to lose the last 4 games. We're going to lose 20 games in a season. But then that would impress me, regardless of the circumstances. And I think other than people need to grow up here and blame fucking Ineos on what the Glazers have done to Amorim, then other than blaming everything on him when he never wanted to fucking come here. And the biggest thing I want to make is this, right? Everybody knew Liverpool did the same. So Slot only brings United manager who needs to complete squad rebuild and play his system. Yeah, and it's Slot. By the way, Liverpool were really close to maybe thinking about getting Amorim. They looked at the squad, everybody, and they said, "No, we're not gonna have 3 centre backs. We don't have the wing backs. We don't have the listen. We might have the forwards. We might have the forwards and the number 10s, but we don't have the defenders. We don't have the wing backs to be able to do. We might have one. Trent could have been a good wing back. But Robinson is dead on his feet. This is one of his worst seasons because he's just run out of gas. And I see, look at what Arne Slot, they understood. Arne Slot came into Liverpool and varied it. Team that was challenging City season after season after season. He just varied it. All he did was fix that midfield up and said, Szoboszlai, what's the Dutch guy called?
Gravenberch. Gravenberch, man.
Gravenberch and McAllister. Yeah. He played 4-3-3 and he's got so many players on the bench, attacking players to bring on. But he actually wants to play in that system. So Gravenberch is the one that he's improved. McAllister was already the top player, and Szoboszlai does the work to help Mohamed Salah on the right hand side because Salah can't come up and down all the time. They cheat with Salah. They keep Salah up the pitch. and Soboslai goes up and down and covers him. But they don't do the mad pressing that they used to do. He varied it, and in that season they stayed consistent because they were a team that was already a culture was already developed. That, and he didn't try to really change the way they play. He gets them to be a bit more patient in the build-up. But they understood after Klopp, there's the guy that the players, they looked at Slot and looked at the way he managed Feyenoord, how he was doing it, and the type of way they were playing football. And they said, actually, this coach will fit the way Liverpool play. And he just varied it, tweaked it here and there. He's not made fundamental changes the way Liverpool play. He just did not. He tweaked it. And that shows me everything. But they were thinking about getting Amorim. And they're now like that. Thank God. Because I'm telling you, Liverpool would have struggled. Because they don't have the win back. They've only got one win back. And that would have been Trent. I don't think Robertson could play that role. I don't think he could play that role. And they don't have 3 centre halves. They don't have 3 centre halves or consistently that can play that system. So it is what it is. But people, I just want to tell you some breaking news tonight. Well, breaking news, if you want to say. This is the news that's being shared in terms of the transfer. Obviously, for me, like I always say, I need to see the players with Manchester United shirt. That's when I believe it. I don't buy the speculation, but we're just reporting the news. So this is not the therapy army saying this. This is not me saying this. I'm just we're reacting to the reports that we get. So Manchester United are apparently, people, have you got 100 likes yet? Please, Jamie Wayne, everybody in the chat, get on it. All of the moderators, please get on it. Let's get to 150 likes ASAP. Let me just go on this. Just say that Edison of Atlanta is being linked with Manchester United. So I just want to say, just post this tonight. This is the news tonight, people. This is what's happening. So Edison has been discussed in the initially. Once again, he is the perfect player for the idea Amorim, but the club knows it is very difficult case. So this is what Fabrizio Romano is saying. This is Fabrizio Romano. This is him. Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United appreciation of Edison is 100% confirmed. This is what he's saying. United like him and consider him a top midfielder. They believe he's the kind of perfect player for Amorim. Atlanta want more than 40 million, 50 million. Man United and Atlanta will not make it easy. And they won't negotiate now. It's something for the summer. And there'll be more clubs interested. So that's the thing that's coming out tonight. For me, it's just another bullshit thing. Manchester United, look at the words, appreciation. They consider him a top midfielder for Amorim. Perfect player for Amorim. All of this is bullshit. The most interesting thing all of this is that they want around 50 million, right? Maybe 60 million euros. And that more other clubs are interested as well. That's the most important thing.
Bro, Fabrizio's going to have a pizza on us. He's put out some bullshit for you. That's it. He signs his own checks. End of story.
Yeah. That's what's happening, people. That is what's happening.
But is he good? Do you like him?
Well, let me just share with you another thing. Like I said to you, I think that league is a fraud watch. There are 2 players that I'm 100% certain on, and I will put my life on it. My life. That they would perform well in the Premier League. That's Barella and Reinders. The only 2 midfielders that I rate from that league. And I think they could go to any league in any team and actually perform well. Because
who's Reinders?
He plays for Holland. I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah, okay.
I'll show you who he is in a minute.
AC Milan.
Yeah, I'll show you. But I just wanted to get his stats up just to show. Maybe we can share it on here on FFP. So here, these are his stats. This is his stats. This is Edison. Just to get, this is Edison here. You can see, 25 years old. Yeah, he doesn't get many goals or many assists. He's not the kind of, he's a build-up player. He's a guy who's a build-up player. So just to see
But Norin, what formation does Atalanta play?
They play this. Majority
Yes.
of time they play three
Yes.
centre backs and they play
Yes.
two wing backs and they play two midfield players. Yeah, similar system to Manchester United.
So it's the right
that
profile.
league, yeah, but that league is a different league for me, and that's why I don't believe like to me my eye test is the most important thing to me in that league. Barella, consistency for the past 3 years. Reinders, however shit AC Milan has been, he's consistent. He's way above the rest. When you watch Milan, when you watch Reinders in any game, he's the most composed player. He does the same things in every game. And regardless whether he's playing against top of the league or bottom of the league, he's consistent with his performance. But I have not watched Edison that much. I'm not gonna lie to you. But they play a similar system. But boy, the difference, the way they play it, the way we play it, is like day and fucking night. They play it totally attacking. Galbarini, I thought his name, Galbarini, their coach. The way he plays
Gasperini.
My God. The way he plays it in an Italian league as well, and in the Europa League last season, and in the Champions League, is attack. It's no, defend. They're so attacking, it's unbelievable with a 3-4-3 formation. So let's have a look at his FP and then we can talk about it. So here it is. These stats because he's more of a passer. These stats are not really. He's not a playmaker. He's a deep lining playmaker for me. From if you want to know anything about him, he's the guy who picks up the ball, passes attempted. You see 76, pass completion. 60, 86, 68 percentile. Progressive passes. There you go. He likes to play through the lines, give it to the people before they give it to the strikers. So he plays the pass that gives it to the forwards before they go and give it to the other forward or get the ball in or whatever, right? Successful take-ons. Actually, he's quite technical. He's quite decent on the ball. 74 percentile. And then touches, in the penalty area. He's not really a penalty area kind of guy. Interceptions is really good because he reads the game well. Aerial juice, he's quite good at the aerial. So in the Premier League, he'll be solid in that when he wins the aerial juice. But interceptions for me is the key thing. Blocks, he's not a best blocker. Clearances, he's not that great really at clearances. But interceptions for me shows me how well you read the game. And take-ons for me shows that you've got a bit of power to go and burst past people, and you can be a bit press resistant. But the biggest thing about him is the progressive passes. That to me is a key thing. He can progress the ball from the defense into the final third. He can punch the ball through. So he has got that in his locker, and he attempts these passes, shot creating actions. Like I said, he gives the ball to the forwards in the last third to go and do it, what they need to do. And here
so he's a wing back, you said? Or
no. He's a center of midfield player.
Center
midfield player.
Midfield.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He's a Brazilian center midfield player. Yeah. But like I said to you, I've not watched him to that extent. I thought he was the man of the match. Was he? No, he was he? In that, he was super impressive in their run in the Europa League and the Europa League final. He was incredible, absolutely incredible. Every time Leverkusen had thought they could start playing, he was breaking it up. He was reading it. His interceptions in that game, in that final, you can find the highlights maybe or try to watch that game. That was the only game I watched, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I watched the game. So we're getting an upgraded version of Ugarte. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. But
can I ask you, what's this? Sorry, bro. Do you know what's this site called that you've seen these stats on?
This is called this site. Let me just go to it. I always forget the name of it.
FB Ref.
FB Bref.
FB Ref.
Yes.
FB Ref.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much do you think we're gonna spend on him?
The players that You know, it's interesting. The players that they compare him to is Fatinia, Manu Kone, who's playing in Roma now. Pepe Matassa, Paulo Barreiras, Lucas Di Cunha, Thomas Partey. These are the players that they compare him to. These are what they compare him to.
So I'm just looking at.
Vitinha, I don't see it, but the others. I'm just asking, how much do you think we're going to spend on him? That's a genuine question.
Do you know who's got better stats than him?
60 million euros. Atlanta, the price is 50 million pounds or over 50 million pounds.
Do you know who's got better stats than this guy?
We're talking 50 million pounds. So another 60 million for the release clause of Cunha.
Yes.
So
Can I just say something to you guys? Can I just give you a little bit of insight? The person who's the chief negotiator for Atlanta when they sell their players was exactly the same guy who was at Leicester, English guy, a British guy, who took United 80 million plus for Maguire. And then he took 70 million plus for Rasmus. Do you think that we're going to go there and pay less than 50 million for this guy? If United, if United can afford to go and do it, you are mistaken. The guy was at Leicester. He's now at. In that time, he's took from Manchester United. That guy negotiates has made 150 million from Manchester United.
Other than progressive passes, guys, do you know who's got much better stats than this guy in every department? Scott McTominay. Swear down.
No.
So check it. I'm on FB Ref right now. Check the stats. So what are you saying, boys? 28, 30 million, Scott getting back is 28.
No. Bumbaye, you know how you know? Do you know how you know that you're comparing eggs from a little bird to big eggs that we eat from the chickens? You're comparing two totally different profile players. This guy is a deep lying playmaker guy who progresses the ball, and Scott McTominay is a number 10 who plays for Atlanta. He plays as a number 10 for Atlanta. He doesn't play for Leo. Yeah, he doesn't play. This guy plays as a 2 in a central midfield. That's what he plays, and he's the deeper lying midfield player. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, I'm like you, Nordin. I haven't watched too much. I saw the final obviously last season, but I'm extremely skeptical when it comes to signing Italian players. So players from the Italian league. It's a different league. It's about tempo. I've always been an advocate of signing players from Spain or France or Premier League. That's the only 3 leagues I want players from. I don't want players from the Eredivisie. I don't want players from Portugal. I don't want players from other leagues. I want players that's similar to the Prem. Because I think that's what we need. We can't afford to miss on signings anymore. We have had too many misses. We have spent too much money on players who didn't come through, and it takes too long of a time for them to actually achieve something. And I think we have to spend, and I think we have to spend big if we want to come back and compete. But unfortunately, we're not. So for me now, I feel when it comes to signing players, I would rather us just to sign. Let's say you mentioned 11 players, Nuruddin, but I feel like I have more patience and I understand the situation we are in. I think, and I think we're better off. But let me just land, Nordin. I think we're better off.
I'm not accepting the situation we're in because the Glazers and Ineos have put us there. I'm not accepting that. You can accept it, but I'm not accepting it. Go ahead.
Well, we are in the situation we are, and coming in maybe 17th this season, we're not going to compete for top 4 next season. That's just unrealistic, and it won't happen. But I think I would rather us sign 2-3 big name players and start playing the youth, the players we have, rather than spending on 10 players that's not even better than what we already have. The potential of what we already have in our academy, and on our bench, and the 19 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old. I would rather, but we need a striker, we need a goalkeeper, and maybe a midfielder. And if we can get 3 solid signings and let the young guys play, I would be happy, because we're not going to compete for top 4 next season anyway. So for me, it's a project, and I think that's the way how you build a club. And I don't think we are in a state where we can buy ourselves out of the problems we are in. I think we just need patience and time. And this was always my take, even with Ten Hag and even under Ole, I thought the same. And as you say, we're gradually getting worse and worse and worse. So what is it getting us? We have signed fucking Ronaldo and Cavani and big name this and big name that haven't brought us anything. So I think it's time just to say let's just give these kids a go. And that's why I think we shouldn't sell Mainu, we shouldn't sell Garnacho. You know, they are young players, they are talented. I think they can come good, but they need some players to help them out. So that's why I would rather spend like a lot of money on 3 players and that's it. Stop and don't sign anyone else. People talk about the big window. We're getting 7, 8, 9 players in. I don't think that's the way. That's not how you build a team. You can't bring in 7, 8, 9 new individuals into this group and believe that this group will work. It's not how a group functions. It's not how you build a team. Look at Liverpool. How many players did Liverpool sign before this season? Do anyone know how many players Liverpool signed before this season?
They already had a fantastic squad, other than the centre backs.
Yeah, but they didn't sign anyone. Building a team is not. You're not doing it in a summer camp in 1 month training, 6 weeks. No, it's not how you build a team. It takes more time. So for me, I would rather spend that time and build a squad and try to get this group to work and get in some experienced players. Get rid of as many players as possible and play the youth. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel that's the way going forward. But that will take time. We're talking about 3 to 5 years.
100%. Listen, the biggest thing for me is that but Jarvis, the big difference between me and you is that I want to, on our way back, I want us to play good football. You can only do that when you get good footballers. Technically, and physicality are the key things to modern footballer. We need Manchester United have technically some of the worst footballers I've ever seen, physically some of the worst footballers I've ever seen. I want them out of this fucking football club. I want 6 to 5 players to come in and change this fundamentally. I think, yes, do I believe? I agree with you fundamentally. The culture needs to change before we see the performance. The culture in the training ground, the culture of how the young players take their opportunity, the help that surrounds that, the developmental coaching that we do with the new players and the young players. But I'm
go off on this one.
Listen, I'm sick of watching shit football, Jarvis. I don't mind getting beat. Football, there's only 3 results: win, lose, or you draw. I don't mind either of those. What I mind is the shit fucking football. I'm not taking shit football when I go to games and I see, and you and me, you analyze it on your channel. You bring the videos to show the audience. Analyze it again and again, what the fuck they're doing on the football pitch. Those players, I'm sick of seeing them at this football club. I want them gone. That's the fundamental belief. 3 signings are not going to make anything. And before you know it, I'm sorry, Jarvis, but it's modern football. Modern football, coach only gets to 15 to 16 months, are you out of a job? 2 years.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that. I think that's wrong. I think that's a fundamental thing that's wrong with football.
But Jarvis,
I don't think that's how you build a group of. I lead my own business. I know how you build a group of people and get them to work together.
Jarvis,
it takes
Jarvis,
more.
I understand
It's not
that.
like a quick fix. You can't just snap your finger and get everybody to perform at the highest level just at once.
Jarvis, that's the reality. The same thing you said to me before is the reality of the modern game. You said to me before, the reality of Manchester United is that we've been getting worse and worse and worse, losing quality players and getting worse and worse. That's a reality. Modern football, It's the reality. Every coach, the average coach now gets 18 months to 2 years. And that's where we're at. If you don't solve it quickly, if you don't give fans something to get behind quickly, and you don't get them emotionally backing you, you lose your job quickly. Go ahead, Luani.
Can I go up on this one? In some of the players, the Ederson that we're talking about, so that's let's put it together. That's 50 million potentially, right? And then we're talking about Cunha, another 60 million release clause. That's just 2 players out of the 7 players that are bona fide starters that we're trying to get. The issue that I have with United is that there is 2 ways to build a team. You can either buy your starters, aka getting scammed on the transfer market for premium price, or you can build your starters. Why don't we build our starters? Why is it always us? We get caught in profile in specific players and we ignore the other way, which is actually shrewd and which is actually more risk friendly. When I talk about building our starters, when you promote somebody from the academy, okay, and you go in the championship, you sprinkle maybe 5 million on somebody in the championship, and then you go in League 1, you sprinkle another 10 million on somebody from League 1, you spend 15 million, you bring in 3 players coming from 3 different environments to compete for 1 position. Don't you think that at the end, by the end of the training session or by the end of the preseason, whoever come up on top deserve to start at that position? And don't you think that that's a cheaper way and less risk for us to go that way than always looking into the transfer market, trying to pay a premium price for a player that we think have the attribute that is suited for a specific system? It will be funny, guys. I find it funny, right? If you take the 3-4-3, you can start looking anywhere to say you need a specific player. But if you break that system down in a 4-2-3-1, I promise you, you take the current squad that we have, you have at least 2, if not 3 players for every position on the pitch. That's the difference a system makes. I'm not asking the coach to change the system, but I'm asking him to help this cheap board that we all know they're cheap to engage into shrewd signing. Shrewd signing is what can help us progress, have a measure of progress from point A to point B, regardless of how many years we think this project is going to take. One thing we are not going to recover from is if we go on the transfer market, spend premium price on players, we bring them in and we still fail next year. Now we only have ourselves to blame. So this thing we will never learn. Never. What is wrong?
That's the beauty of football, isn't it? The beauty of football is that everybody sees it different. But I just wanted to quickly end with this and just say that this is the news. Exclusive: Amad Diallo set to be back in training with Manchester United squad already next week, despite initial expectations for the season to be over after injury. He's recovered in record time, and so Amad will be available in training from next week. I think they shouldn't rush him back. I genuinely think that. I think win, lose or draw, I don't think they should be rushing him back. I think this is dangerous. I think they're playing with fire here. I know why he's tried to rush him back, because he wants him back in time for the Europa League. But I really think you're playing with fire, because if this guy is going to be a player, he's been the best player for us this season. I think all of us could admit that. If you don't, then put your hand up. You can say something different. In my opinion, he was the only reason I went to the stadium again and again, because he was the only one that on the ball that can actually try to do something, was threatening. And teams actually were respecting him so much. When he was on a good run, they were double marking him. They were putting 2 players on him. They were trying to restrict him in the space that he was getting. So I think it's quite dangerous. Lesso, what do you think? Do you think it's dangerous? Because I prefer him to have a good preseason and start again for next season, and to be healthy for next season.
Yeah, but you know, with this club, man, they're gonna rush him back because they're desperate to win the Europa League. So, you know, I'm expecting, I'm expecting this guy to be back as soon as they can get him back now, especially with some others not back yet. So, you know, they are desperate at this point. So he'll be back for the next Europa
Playing
League
with
game.
fire.
So pretty, so pretty much, no, our club summed up in a nutshell, man. I mean, yeah, it's just doom and gloom at the moment, you know. And I agree with Luani what he said. You know, shoot signings need to be mandated at this football club. You know, if we don't do that, we're running a risk where we mismanage funds again, and then there's a maybe, you know, and next thing you know, the people who are, you know, the kids who collect the balls and give them back to the goalkeepers will be sacked. You know, won't have people
That's not even
that's the
funny.
thing. And
That's
it's not even funny because, you know, yeah, ball boys, I'm telling you, at some point they'll be saying that ball boys shouldn't be there because Ineos are running a tight ship here at the moment. You know, it's not funny at all because, you know, people are losing jobs over poor decisions and mismanagement of funds. So yeah, let's just try. I think they will try that approach. I don't think they'll necessarily just go and buy everyone that we linked with. I think we're looking at young players, and I think we're looking at shrewd signings as well. So it's a
Yeah,
combination of both, hopefully.
yeah. Big up, bless up, people. We've not even got
Big
100
up, bless
likes. We're giving you our content here. I'm not asking you to become a member. I'm not asking you to do this, do that. I'm just asking you to like the fucking video because we're shadow banned, and the algorithms try to stop us for shouting for the people who are being genocided as we speak right now. So the least you can do, just smash a like if you believe in free Palestine. Smash the like if you believe in free Palestine. If you want to stop the genocide and the suffering, smash that like on the video. It's not
Do you
even
know?
100. We've been live for 2 hours and we haven't even got 100 likes. Shame on you. Bumbaye, go ahead. Amad Diallo being rushed back. What do you think?
Bro, I love Ahmad Diallo. You know, he's the shining light. Um, whatever they do, man. Hopefully they do it with brains, you know, and not rush him back and hurt him and hurt the team, you know. So if he plays, I hope he's ready to play. I just want to finish by saluting Jamie Vardy, man, Cinderella man. You know what a career he announced his retirement end of the season. I think that guy has been an absolute fairy tale of
Has
a
he, has,
story.
is he said he's going to retire? I thought he said he's leaving Leicester.
Okay. Oh,
He's
is it?
leaving Leicester. Yeah, I didn't see him saying he's going to retire. He said he's going to be leaving Leicester.
Well, what a amazing. I think is it 15 years. How many years?
Yeah, yeah,
13 years.
he's been.
Um,
I think he cost £1 million.
from Fleetwood, bro, and that guy is what a story, an unbelievable fairy tale story. You know, to win the Premier League and play in the Champions League and play for England, and he did well in all of them. You know, you have to give it Jamie Vardy. Honestly, the guy took what he's had, and he's had a fabulous career. I must say so. I respect.
Yeah, Ahmad Jarvis. Sorry, on Ahmad Bumbaye.
Yeah, I said it. If he comes back, bro, I welcome him back. You know, but they know his levels and where he's at. I hope they don't risk him. They might, like Lesso says, and hopefully we don't pay the price. But just do what's right for the guy. You know, long term is important. Don't want him injured again.
Yeah. Big up, by the way. We did a poll from early on. We asked the question: can Man UFC afford to lose the last games in the Premier League? 63% of you think yes. 37% of you said no.
That basically tells you nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
When
I'd
when it
take
comes
Vardy on a
to
free.
Yeah. Oh, Fardy,
when it
somebody
comes
needs
to
to play
Ahmad,
him in the movie. I just want to go to Jarvis and I'll come back to you, Luwani.
all right.
Jarvis, yeah,
Yes,
Ahmad being rushed back.
injury.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break it down. It's an ankle ligament injury. If you know ligaments, it's a moderate tear of his ligament, and it's a grade 2 when you look at it, and that means it's a partial tear of the ligament. And when you talk about ligaments, it takes long time because they
To
have to
heal, yeah,
attach themselves and
heal, yeah.
not only attach themselves so you can start training again, but they have to strengthen. And the biggest problem with, because there's so high re-injury risk, because a ligament might not have fully reattached or strengthened enough, so there's a higher chance of another tear, and that's always worse than the first. So if he gets injured again, he will be out for 6 to 12 months. That's the facts. And we are fucking rushing this young kid back to play a semifinal for 10 minutes. This is Man United medical team, and we know it. And I can tell you the end of this story right away. He will be injured again, and we won't see Ahmad until Christmas because of this.
That's
And this
crazy.
is our club. We know how it is. It's a
That's crazy.
I'm not a doctor, but you can search it on ChatGPT. Ankle ligament grade 2. It's not that hard. He should be out for at least 2 to 3 months because of the first injury. And if we rush him back, it's weekend and it will tear, and the next injury will be worse. So I don't know. This is our club. So people, just brace yourself.
Yeah. Go ahead, Luani.
So when it comes to Ahmad coming back, I don't second guess what Jarvis or you just said about him. There's no point rushing him back. But I'm always trying to look into the future and say, assuming that he come back, right, and he's in shape, he's ready to go. I'm looking at Amorim and how his system has evolved. Where is he gonna play him? Is he gonna play Ahmad in the 10, or is he
I
gonna
think
play
he's
Ahmad
coming back
in
to
the
a 10.
wing back?
I think it's going back
Now,
to a
if
10.
he's going back to a 10, we see how Amorim is using his 10 now. He's using his 10 as running on the shoulder. That's what Bruno was doing last time. So running on the shoulder, would that fit Ahmad with a ball over the top? Because Ahmad is somebody that's ball to fit. Would that fit him or not? Now, if we decide to play him as a wing back, we see what Dallo is been doing now. Dallo has been hugging the touchline and coming deep because our manager decided to play with a back 5 now. So that means that Ahmad is going to be collecting the ball right in his own half back to goal. So the real question for me is, if he come back fit, is he going to be used correctly, or he's going to be used to his full potential? And that's what I'm worried about. Our system, the issue with us, our coach, when we look at our system, our DM, our wing back, our 10s, we all agree that those are the most important element of our system. If you look at our DM, now teams are putting 2 men behind. They are man marking our DM out of the game. When our center back get the ball and try to build, when our wing back drop deep to take the ball, they're taking the ball back to goal. Okay, as a left back, I play as a left back. It's a very uncomfortable feeling to take the ball back to the opposing goal in your own half. You don't have any other option than to pass it back to your center back. But these guys are being pressed already. That's why they pass you. You are an outlet for them. That's why they pass you the ball in the first place. So right there, we are stuck. We have criticized Erik ten Hag because we say he had a donut in that midfield. If Bruno is running, if our 10s are running on the shoulder and our wing back are hugging the touchline deep in our own half, if our DMs are getting man mark out of the game, who the hell is playing in that midfield? I think Amorim have 99 problem, and he need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, he definitely has.
Noradin, I just Googled list of famous players who have been rushed back with ankle ligament injuries. Players who have been rushed back too soon. Jack Wilshere, repeated ankle ligament injury at Arsenal. Gareth Bale, frequent ankle ligament at Real Madrid. Marcus Royce, ankle ligament foot injury. And Neymar, reoccurring ankle ligament tears and sprains. I'm just telling you guys, this is not going to end well.
No, it's not, Jarvis. It's not going to end well.
No.
It's not going to end well. Yeah, it's not going to end well. And I'm quite sad about it, because I think these are the kind of shit that if that ankle ligament gets weak, it can end a career.
That goes back to what you said. When you talk about how rotten the culture of the club is, the only thing I disagree with you is that the culture of the club is not only just rotten based on the Glazers, it's also rotten based on the fans. Because we all know what happened when Real Madrid is not performing well and their fans are requiring for a certain standard. The manager gets fired. Perez cannot fire himself, that's fine. But when it comes to us, we have players that are not performing well and we singing song for them. Viva Garnacho. We have a manager that's underperforming too. We want to give him 2 years and write off a whole season. It's us as fans as well. The Glazers are there for their money. They will take their money and they don't care. As long as the club is generating money, whether we do well on the pitch or not, they don't care. We have already established that. But us as fans, what are we doing to change that? We have to be able to hold ourselves accountable too. It's not everything Glazers, you know. And by the way, Ineos just take over. So we need to give them the benefit of the doubt to have them go through at least a couple of managers. At least.
Ineos the benefit of the doubt.
But they just took over. This is what we asked for, Nuruddin. We asked for the
Luani, I'm not going to lie to you. Luani, you're driving that big truck something's happened to you. I swear, I'm not lying to you. I think something's happened to you. I think you're I don't know if you're getting too much fresh air. I think it's all gone to your head.
Not the channel for that, Luani, bro. You're asking for cruising for a bruise in there.
Luani, do you not understand what the mistakes that they've made already? Do you not understand they've cost the football club 60-70 million already? What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's 60-70 million of their money, of their club money, or their money. He didn't.
No, the club money. Right? The club money.
Yeah, but he made an investment, right? So if I'm not saying he's allowed to waste money, but it's his first shot.
The mismanagement, Luani, the bankers already mismanaged Manchester United. He comes in with his clowns, a cycling guy, and they start making errors after error after error. They sack Ten Hag too late. They have to pay him off. Then they got Dan Ashworth. When have you ever heard of a club sack the director of football 4 months after they already had him 5 or 6 months where he was on gardening leave? He was more in gardening leave than the amount of time he spent at Manchester United. I'm sorry.
No,
and then they had to pay him. Then they had to pay him off. They had to pay him off. Then they had to go and get Amorim for 12 million.
But
then they got rid of Anthony. Then they got rid of Rashford, and they didn't replace them. So please try to explain to me how. What are you? Where do you see? You tell me, what do you see in Ineos that's gonna convince you they're gonna get this right? Tell me.
I didn't see anything in Ineos. What I see is in the fan. You stand here and tell me, when Ineos appointed Omar Berrada, everybody was jubilating.
I wasn't.
When they appointed Amorim, most of the majority of the fan base thought that it was a good appointment. When they put together the team of extraordinary gentlemen, we all didn't think it's a mistake.
No, I wasn't.
We think it's a mistake now because the only reason it's not working.
Please, Jarvis, I beg you, Jarvis, please come in. Jarvis, please, can you explain what we did in this channel? What were we saying with all these people? Every time people were coming in, and you know what they were saying? No, it's not revisionism. You know what everybody kept saying? I said we have to wait and see what they do, but I have no hope in them. And I did video after video talking about what they did at Nice, what they did in Formula One, what they did in the boat racing thing, the world something Fred, whatever cup the thing's called. I talked about what they did to Nice. I talked about what they did.
I didn't remember after Dan Ashworth got sacked, the morning after that, anybody go on any channel and say that was the wrong decision. That's why I'm saying, if we're saying it's a wrong decision today, if we're saying today that it was a wrong decision, that is revisionism. That's revisionism.
Bombaye was here. Jarvis was here. You were here. We said it was. We said, what kind of a club does that? What kind of a club's? We all said there was a horrendous decision. We all said it. We said he was more in time in fucking.
We talked about Ratcliffe surrounding himself with yes men, and Ashwood was the yes man.
And the Luan they were talking about, he saved the Glazers basically. Glazer and all that.
I thought we were all on board with whatever.
No, Luani, I'm not gonna lie to you, Luani. You know what you need to do? I said you got too much fresh air. You're having a howler here. This channel, we have been in or out from day one. You're having an absolute howler here. Please, please, I beg you, please try to explain to Luani. I know sometimes I think you just come on the channel and don't listen. I have been in or out from day one. And everybody's the witness. Everybody on this channel is a witness. Everybody who comments is a witness. And the only thing when the people
I've heard that Dan Ashworth was surplus to requirements.
No, I didn't know. I didn't say that. No. I think you're mixing this channel up with other channels. Like Giddy FC. We're not Giddy FC here, mate. That's why it says it on there. Look, it is real, red, and raw. Here we have the real conversations. We don't get giddy because we have been paying attention. We pay attention to what is happening. What is happening to this football club? This channel said nah. We've not said nah.
Yeah, I never wanted these guys.
Ineos, everybody kept saying, you got to give them a chance. People were coming and saying, but we've got to give them. Even Bombay kept telling me, you got to give them a chance. You wanted a structure. And I'm like, let's see what they do. And then to me, the actions they did proved everything to me. And I was calling them out. This channel, Luani, was the only channel that was telling Glazers never wanted to sell fully. This was the only channel. On the whole of Manchester United YouTube, we were the only channel. And people say to me, you know what people said to me during that time? You're not a content creator because you don't play the game. I'm like, so I'm going to set up a protest channel and then lie to the audience.
Fair play. If you did, fair play.
I swear on my mother's grave, people were DMing me going, Norden, you should have 25,000 subscribers already, but you don't play the game. You don't know how to make content. You've got to get people excited. You've got to get people into that. You've got to everything happening now. Has to be positive. And I'm like, this is a protest channel. But we talk about the real stuff here.
But where I'm coming from is that I'm saying that you can't support Amorim and at the same time say that the sacking of approve of the sacking of Dan Ashworth, because those two events are linked. Dan Ashworth didn't get sacked before Amorim came in. He got sacked after Amorim came in. So there is a reason to believe that between those two, there is a rift. And at the end of the day, Omar Berrada had to make a choice. So what if Omar Berrada cleared the ground for Amorim to be able to work more comfortably? Because Dan Ashworth, a technical director, is clashing head with Amorim. Like
no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Luani, please, I beg you. Let's Jarvis tried to explain.
It was a lack of chemistry.
That Ashworth did not agree with the 3-4-3.
Ratcliffe. Lack of
Uh,
chemistry.
No.
Listen,
You said,
Jarvis,
Nuruddin,
Luwani, by the way,
there are two
Luwani, you
things.
need to put a light on. Luwani, you need to put a light on because you can't see you.
Okay. Nuruddin, you are the one who said that Dan Ashworth said the 3-4-3 will not work. And at the same time, paradoxically, we are listening to Amorim saying his press conference when he came in that he will stick to his system. So how can you hear these two things and think that those two are going to work together?
Listen, let me explain to you. So the decision to go and get Amorim was not even told to Dan Ashworth. It was Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada who flew on a private jet to Lisbon. They were the guys who did what they did. So Dan Ashworth was already frozen out before
he was on the gardening
Amorim
leave.
came here.
He was still on the gardening leave. He didn't hire Amorim.
Yeah, he was it's not on gardening leave. No, Jarvis. He actually was working, but he was frozen out already.
No. The Ten Hag thing. He was on the gardening. No. He wasn't in the club when Ten Hag got a renewal of his contract.
Yeah. No, we're talking about Amorim. We're not talking about we're talking about Amorim. So it was Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada who flew to Lisbon to go and Omar Barada pushed.
We all know this. Manchester City wanted Amorim, and Barada he wanted Amorim.
So Dan Ashworth. So before even about working relationship, Dan Ashworth told them, if you're sacking Eric Ten Hag, Amorim's not the guy. Before Amorim came here, then they said no. And Jarvis explained to you, Jim the Rat said, it was a chemistry problem. We had a chemistry. It was just chemistry. Chemistry. You not watch the Gary Neville interview? He's like, it was chemistry. I just want to say it was chemistry. Just chemistry. Gary Neville laughing. It was chemistry. So the point I want to make to you, Luwani, the point I want to make to you, before Amorim even arrived, because Dan Ashworth was like, listen, the players are not compatible with the system he wants to play. And he's a coach that will stick to his system. They already sidelined him. If you want to know, Luwani, after the show now, I need you to YouTube Amorim's arrival at Manchester United. You see how awkward Dan Ashworth looks. The level of awkwardness. Amorim comes to the training ground, gets off the car, comes in, Omar Barada is there, and Wilcox is there, and Dan Ashworth is just standing there, shaking hands with Amorim. And the level of awkwardness
Of course, it's going to be awkward, Nuruddin, because they override him. It's his job to choose the manager. Not just the manager. Yeah. They override him, and what they should have done is fire him first.
No, but they
didn't. Bring in Amorim.
They didn't. Okay? They didn't.
Yeah, but they didn't fire him. That's what I'm saying. My hypothetical question comes to: if Amorim got along with Dan Ashworth, would Dan Ashworth still have a job?
They already. No. Dan Ashworth. Jim has already made the decision to sideline him, and it was Wilcox and Omar Barada who flew to Lisbon to get their man, to negotiate, to get him here. Dan Ashworth by that time was sidelined already. He was just there for being there, and I think maybe something Jarvis might be right, that they needed to get to certain months to pay him off for him to be able to sack him. Because certain companies, you can't sack the person. You sideline them, but you can't sack them until a certain date, until certain about the wages and the negotiating with the agents and everything.
That is a weird way of doing business, Nuruddin. That's a weird way of doing business. After going through all of that to hire him, and after listening to his recommendation and not firing Ten Hag, you suddenly decide to sideline him.
Well, that's what we said.
It's not about Ashford were on a gardening leave when the Ten Hag renewal was done. He wasn't working at the club.
It was
Ashford has nothing to do with Ten Hag.
It was Dodgy Dave. It was Dodgy Dave, and Barada and these guys.
And Jean-Claude Blanche.
Yeah, and Blanc and these guys. But listen, they sidelined him. I don't know if you ever worked for a company. I don't know, Bombaye, Lesso. I've worked at places, where I knew my days were coming, but I'm just waiting for them to sort out the package to get rid of me or whatever, the timing so that I can get paid for the last month or whatever for me to go. They didn't sack me, and I think they knew that my employees knew. I knew. We were just going through the motion, waiting till the end of the month, so that that's what happens. It happens like that. And the way they did it on a match day, and they humiliated him. They literally announced, you see him getting up there. He brought his family there. Let me tell you the story. It's on the Athletic. You can go on, read about it, Luani. He brought his family to come to the director's box. He was called from the director's box at halftime to go and see Omar Barada, and then he was sacked halftime in a game. That's how much they wanted to do it in the middle of a game.
Omar Barada
do it,
him.
Jarvis.
So
no.
Jim Ratcliffe hired him, and Omar Barada sacked him.
Yeah, but Luani, big up to Asif. Asif, thanks for joining us. We're wrapping up. So Omar Barada is the guy because he's the CEO, but it was Jim Ratcliffe that made the decision to get rid of him. Yeah, Asif, how are you doing?
I'm alright, man. It's the first time I've done this. Come on your channel. I know we've been speaking for a while, but you invited me. I was out having dinner, man, Friday evening. You know what I mean? Trying to have a balance in life. It's important to have a balance in life, especially when you support Manchester United.
100%. What are you chowing down, man?
Listen.
I was having grilled chicken and some avocado and broccoli.
Seriously?
Yeah. I like eating healthy. I don't eat junk food.
Where was this? Where were you? What place did you go to for dinner?
Guess.
In Manchester?
Nando's.
Yes, correct. No, in Leeds.
Oh, you went to Leeds, eh? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
By the way, Asif is a die-hard guy from Twitter. I want to introduce the Therapy Army. Asif is a die-hard. He's one of the most nostalgic football fans I know. He'll tell you, he knows every goal, every play, what United were and what United are now. And he's one of the fans that is actually glass half full. You know what I mean?
Well,
he's half full.
That's the nice way of putting it. Usually it says Giddy FC.
You are the chief director, chairman of Giddy FC, founding member.
I'll tell you
That's
that
what
now.
you are.
There's no point being a football fan if you're not going to get giddy and excited, because not every team wins trophies. Not every season you can be the Champions League or title winner. So you've got to find joy amongst the season.
Okay,
so even though we've had a horrible season, it's been a nightmare. Tell me you weren't like loving that victory when Maguire scored in the last minute.
I knew you. See, he'll look for one positive and hang all of his hat on it. That is the type of fan he is. I'm asking, how were you that night? Did you go to work the next day? What was going on?
Mate, I was absolutely buzzing. It was because I thought it was done for me. That was what's keeping the season alive. But when that happened, I couldn't believe it, and it just felt like the good old times. But obviously, I knew in the bigger picture, like, we're still a disaster of a team because we shouldn't have allowed them to score that many goals. But just that moment of that joy just elevated us and made us feel good, because if you think about it, we could end up in the Champions League and with a trophy with our worst ever season in the Premier League. That is crazy. And the rival fans will be pissed off, trust me, because they've just been bantering us, obviously. But we could end up maybe with more than most of the Premier League teams if we get a trophy and a Champions League qualification. And obviously it'll change our season next season. Like, our transfer window will automatically change, who will sign, contracts we offer. It'll all depend. It'll totally change if we don't get that Champions League. Like, they're already acting like tight with their money, so it'll totally change. But I'm gonna give you another positive, but I won't give it to you. I don't want this to happen. I'm just saying to you, if we don't get Champions League, we're going to have next season full with no European football and time on the training ground, players to recover, to get the system sorted and have a free go at the Premier League. That's the only silver lining. But obviously, I want to win the Europa League and get Europe, because Champions League is where Manchester United should be.
Big up Asif. See, I told you people, I need more people like Asif to come on the channel. He'll give you the best. He's a director. He's the chairman of Giddy FC and the Positive FC. But yeah, we need more of that. Asif, you made your debut now. Big up to you. Love. Let people know where they can follow you. What's your Twitter handle?
Oh, it's Asif_Bachchan. So ASIF, then underscore, then BACHCHAN.
So you have to. So it's Asif _
Yeah, then BACH, then
So
CH.
so 1 second. BACH.
Yeah, then CH again.
BACH and
Yes.
CH again.
Yeah, then AN.
AN.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Let me just show the people. Is that what it is? Can you see
Yeah.
it on the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, ASIF _ BACHCHAN.
Yeah.
I think
Who's your
it's that.
favourite
Anyway.
player?
I've not looked at it.
Who's your favourite player for United, Asif?
Currently, out of all time.
Currently and of all time.
All times number. I've got a top 5, but the number 1 is Eric Cantona.
Okay, and
But
right now,
right now, favorite player. Bloody hell.
a lot to choose from, innit?
I'll tell. Yeah, I think Aiden Heaven looked good in his few appearances.
I didn't see that coming.
No pressure, Aiden.
Straight to the bone there.
Kobe Menu. Yeah, none of the strikers. Even though I was criticizing Xerxes earlier, he's good on the ball. So some of his movement and some of his technical ability is good, even though he's not an elite level player. But I'm just trying to find a bit of joy in a horrible season. But yeah, then you've got obviously the legendary players like Casemiro and all these, but they're coming to the end of their careers, aren't they? But yeah, I'm trying to think like who stands out. I can't.
Kobe will do. Kobe scored you a
Yeah.
brilliant goal, so big up to him. He clutched it. He got us out of trouble. But listen, Asif, hopefully this won't be the last time, lads. Now that we know, people, please make sure you follow him. Big up to everybody. I want to thank every one of you. I want to thank Asif. Make sure you go and check him out at Asif _ Backjam on Twitter. He's a funny guy. He's big. If you're into your movies, he's a big movie guy. Hopefully, me and him are going to do a movie podcast on the channel.
We need to, man.
We need to do that properly. Make sure you follow Leicester Football TV at Black Rain. Make sure you follow Jarvis Jacoka Bowley 77 BOLE 77. Make sure you subscribe to Tactical Devils. More importantly, I think a couple of hundred away from 1,000, which will further make sure they can monetize. So please go and do that. Him and Stu have put on incredibly hard work. They have the best YouTube channel, best YouTube show on a Monday night, 9 o'clock, Jarvis Corner. You can't miss that. Luwani, 1979. Make sure you check him out. He's been on that fresh air. You know, he's a trucker, and he's been on that fresh air tonight. He's had a couple of howlers.
Give me 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Let me just put this in quick.
9.
I'm not a how you call it, conspiracy theorist junkie, right? But I just find the circumstances surrounding the firing of Dan Ashworth very strange. When it comes to this kind of thing, timeline is very important. If Omar Barada didn't want Amorim to walk into a toxic environment, he should have fired Dan Ashworth before bringing in Amorim. But what I'm looking at is when Amorim came in, Dan Ashworth didn't get fired right away. We lost at least 2 games. I think two games in a span of 2 weeks before Dan Ashworth get fired. If anybody is more surprised of his own firing, is Dan Ashworth himself, because I didn't think the gentleman was expecting to get fired. All he said is that this system is now going to work. And all Amorim was saying in that time is, this is who I am. This is the way I'm going to play. So let's read between the line here. If Amorim is saying that to the press, he's not just talking to us, the fan. He's sending a message to Omar Barada. And Omar Barada had to make a choice. That's why Dan Ashworth had to go and Amorim had to stay. That's just what I thought.
Okay, no problem. You need to read the article in The Athletic that breaks it all down. Big up to you, Luwani. Make sure you check him out at Luwani 1979 on X. Make sure you check out Ben as well. Ben Elmore 39. He's in Turkey as we speak. He jumped on the show the first couple of minutes, and he didn't have his teeth done. He didn't have his nose done. He didn't have his hair done. He's in Istanbul. But we said we'll check him. We'll do a proper inspection when he comes back on Wednesday. He'll be back on Wednesday. So big up to all the URT army. This is the protest channel. Win, lose or draw. Glazers out. Ineos out. Free Palestine, free Lebanon, free the Congo, free Sudan, free them all. Solidarity and love with Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traore and people in Niger, Mali. Solidarity, the people who are resisting imperialism and colonization. Solidarity with all the indigenous people around the world who are getting marginalized. Solidarity with all the people that are oppressed in this world. We stand in total solidarity. Yeah, we don't discriminate regardless of gender, orientation, religious beliefs.
Yeah, it's about humanity.
There you go. As Asif said it there. Humanity. We believe in the humanity of everybody, except for the fucking Zionists, because they're monsters. Love and light, people. Good night. Thank you so much. We'll catch you in the match reaction after Sunday. Love. Take care.
Bye.
Peace, guys.